It's time for Twit This Week in Tech. Steve Ballmer's out. Our panel will discuss Veronica Belmont's here, Ryan Block, David Prager, and we'll drink this bottle of Ruinum. Watch me destroy my laptop next on Twit.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for This Week in Tech is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com. This is Twit This Week in Tech, episode 420, recorded August 25th, 2013, the honey boo-boo of science. This Week in Tech is brought to you by Squarespace.com, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website or online portfolio. For a free trial and 10% off, visit Squarespace.com and use the offer code TWIT8. And by Audible.com. Sign up for the Platinum Plan and get 2 free books. Visit Audible.com/twit2. And don't forget to follow Audible on Twitter, user ID Audible_com. And by Stamps.com. Start using your time more effectively with Stamps.com. Use Stamps.com to buy and print real U.S. postage the instant you need it right from your desk. For our special offer, visit Stamps.com, click the microphone, and enter TWIT. And by GoToMeeting with HD Faces from Citrix, the powerfully simple way to meet and collaborate with colleagues and clients anywhere. You can share the same screen and see each other face-to-face with HD video conference, even from an iPad. Sign up for your 30-day free trial today. Visit GoToMeeting.com, click the Try It Free button, and use the promo code TWIT. It's time for Twit This Week in Tech, the show that covers your weekly tech news, your Jones, I might even say, and a great panel all in studio today, which is a lot of fun. My old friend from Tech TV, David Prager, is here. Now the host of Speed It Up, Joe. It's a little bit slow. No, that's called Distort.
Yep.
It's a show where you take things and you play them back in very...
Change the name of that.
It usually involves...
To speed it up, Joe. It's a little slow.
A much better name,
involves
actually.
destruction. Slow motion destruction. And sometimes... Most of it is... The more interesting stuff is when you blow stuff up and destroy things. And then we'll try to explain what's technically happening to provide some technical cred or some geek cred.
Were you there when Fufu and Rose used thermite to blow up that PC in Kevin's backyard and almost burnt the whole neighborhood
Yeah, and
down?
I remember that. We had a mushroom cloud at the back in his backyard.
I wish it had that in super slow-mo.
And I think that was shot... No, it was shot post 9/11. But anytime you're doing these stuff like that, you have to worry that people are
Watching,
think that
looking.
you're up to more than no good.
I think that was pre-9/11.
You're not.
I don't think you would have done it after that.
No, I think
Was it?
I think that was done in 2003.
Yeah. Hey, look who else is here. Ryan Block, newly minted millionaire, former owner of Gadget. Well, you sold it to AOL.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Actually, it's interesting.
I've been on the show since that happened.
Oh, I know. I'm just ribbing you. Now, product director. What are you? VP product. What do you do? It says right there, VP product at AOL.
Yeah.
And so Gadget got sold to AOL. It was kind of funny because you'd left AOL and Engadget to found it. Was that always the plan, or was it just...
Yeah, no, I'm just going to keep creating new companies
Send them back.
and then keep
Hey,
selling them back.
Ariana, look what I did.
Yes.
It's
yes,
beautiful.
Exactly.
You want
Call up to him. No, I mean, you know, it was, it fit. It made sense.
No, that's great.
Yeah. We chose them.
And then we were talking before the show, you're now like overseeing product development for AOL, which is cool. That sounds like a fun job.
Yeah. Yeah, we're working on some really cool stuff.
Are they working on a watch?
No. Fortunately for me, no physical items because those are very hard to produce.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a real challenge there. Anyway, it's great to have you.
Thanks.
Also here, and she asked not to be seated anywhere near Ryan, so no, just kidding. It's Veronica Belmont. Yay.
Hello, my friend.
Host of Techzilla, former host of a little show called Game On.
Too soon.
Late lamented.
Too soon.
Sad. And Ozzy misses you.
Oh.
He sent me a note to tell you that.
Why is he not here today?
If I had known you were going to be here, I would have brought Ozzy.
You don't know that I'm going to be here?
Actually, I didn't know.
You left the wine out for me.
I did.
So.
We'd leave. Where is the wine?
I don't know.
You drank it all
it's right
already?
here,
Oh, no, wait a minute. Here's the glasses. Would you like a glass of wine?
Well, I wasn't going to, but why not?
He only gets one. He's driving me home.
You do want to dust these off beforehand. And we're drinking a fine Crooked Vine from Livermore Valley, which is not really known for its wine. So, the big story of the week. Yes. Steve Ballmer decides to throw in the towel. And let me ask you this. Let's see a show of hands. Was he fired or did he quit? Or does it matter?
I think he was ready to go.
Do you think the board, though, said,
I don't think so.
Steve, he's 57.
Personally, I don't think so.
I think he's been there he's
him.
been there for 13 years as CEO, and then since the beginning.
Yeah, he was Bill Gates' roommate at Harvard.
I don't think it has to be either or. I think it can be both. He was fired quitted.
Fire quitted.
It was time. It was clearly time. He knew it. They knew it. That's probably. I mean,
People
nobody.
have been
I don't think
calling
anybody
for
has.
his side forever. And
Myself included.
Yeah, he's not. And then in the last quarterly report, Microsoft had to take a $900 million charge for Surface RT. That after $1 billion charge for the Xbox Red Ring of Death, and Overture $1 billion charge. He's not been a great CEO.
He's kind of kept the ship roughly on course. I mean, they started out with a huge product, of course, that being Windows, and they were doing very well in that area. And then they've come out with a lot of different products over the years. He inherited that. And so that has continued to be the moneymaker for them. And they've come out with a lot of different products and a lot of different things over the years.
Windows and Office.
Yep. You know, Microsoft was a big hit. There were some forays into the phone world, like the Kin, for example, and then like success. Surface tablet. So there's been some highs and some lows.
Mostly lows.
But the problem is
Name one thing Ballmer did that you could say this was a hit.
I think the only thing that really happened during his tenure that was really a hit was Xbox. But that wasn't really even...
That was Jay Allard, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that wasn't really his, thing, you know?
Robbie Bach. Yeah, well, Xbox... I mean, so he allowed Xbox to exist in the way that made it possible for it to become what it is, which is they allowed them to take the Xbox and turn it into kind of an independent division within the company, the entertainment and devices division. And that was what it required. It needed to be outside the box at Microsoft in order to become successful. If it was a product of Microsoft's normal process, it would never be able to compete in the video game market. And so, you know, that's why it's the exception. They did something very different there. And yeah, they took a write down on the Red Ring of Death, but that's done now. And now they're the most successful video game console in the market, and they're making a ton of money.
This is the biggest hit that Steve Ballmer ever had. Chasing a cake at CES. That's it. We now know this is his story of his...
And, you know, the thing that makes me think that he's not...
Developers.
Monkey boy.
Developers.
But, you know, I got to praise him for that, because that's the thing that I think he did that was most interesting and most atypical of a CEO, is he was enthusiastic. What's wrong with that?
But there's a difference between enthusiastic and crazy, like rabid. Like unhinged.
I think that was just his way, though. I think
the thing is, he comes off unhinged, and I got privy to an internal Microsoft video a couple years back that it's never been released to the internet, and I saw it, and it was like an internal all hands, and it was a developers like moment, and he was totally unhinged. I mean, I could not believe that this man is running anything, like even a household. Is crazy.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't have to get personal.
No,
attack-y.
but I'm just saying, he is really.
Was he Microsoft's crazy uncle?
I think so.
Oh, I've also often called you my crazy uncle.
Oh, thank you. Well, yeah. I've run around saying developers. Remember that one moment at Seattle at the Superdome where there was a guy in the front row who had an iPhone, and he took it and he put it on the stage and stomped on it?
Remember that? he actually fake stomped. He put it down, but he made and then he kind of fake stomped. And he didn't actually destroy. Yeah, he didn't actually destroy it, which is kind of even more sad. I mean, if you're going to do that, just actually stomp on the thing.
You can afford to give him a new one.
What I was trying to say earlier is that there hasn't been, there's been innovation, but there hasn't been a lot of crazy outside of the box thinking in Microsoft's part in the last
they kind of need it right now,
12 years. And so they kind of need it. But what worries me is that it's still the same board of directors. And Ballmer's still going to be on board with them while they go through this process of finding a new CEO. So it doesn't give me a lot of hope that there's going to be a huge shift in direction for them going on this current path.
Isn't the problem really that Microsoft is at the end of the line in general? It's very difficult to take a company like that and reinvent it, retool it
Yahoo.
to live in the new... Oh, yeah. Yahoo.
What about it?
They're a company that was kind of on a decline, and now they've brought in some major new talent to change the direction of the company.
But they still have a tough time defining what it is that they do. Like I'm sure there's a mission statement that's put somewhere, but I don't think anyone really knows what Yahoo does.
The jury's out on Yahoo.
Well,
it could be a success, but it might not be.
Throughout their whole process of finding their new CEO, they were trying to decide if they were going to be a media company or if they were going to be a product company.
They never
decided. A web product company. And they haven't, but they're leaning more on the side of the product because Marissa Mayer is not a media person.
Have you been to Yahoo lately? Do you know that they have a Google toolbar at the top of Yahoo? I mean, it doesn't say Google, but they've duplicated the Google bar. Go to the top there. If you scroll up, Chad, see that? It's the Google bar. It says home, mail, sports, and this is on. If you go to Flickr, it's on Flickr. It's on the. I think Marissa's innovation is taking stuff that she did at Google.
She knows what works.
And applying it. Yeah.
Well, Yahoo
anyway, I
also
don't want to get in
sold-
that. That's a separate
sold
conversation.
search to Microsoft.
Yeah, they were doing
long
Bing
time ago.
search. I don't
Yeah.
know what. Anyway,
That
But
fell
I-
apart when she
Well,
came
in any
on
event,
board.
I think, look, the problem with Ballmer is that he is not a product guy. He doesn't understand product. He doesn't know a good product if it dropped out of the sky and hit him. And this is why the Surface and the Kin and all these different things were allowed to exist. And they existed right alongside the Xbox, actually genuinely good products with great strategies. So they need somebody who understands what people want. If they can get that, if that is the only thing that changes and the board stays the same, Ballmer's still on the board and Bill's still on the board, and the only thing that changes is they get a product CEO, they will be in such better shape.
But I think it's more than someone who understands what people want. I think that's one step, and then the other step is to understand what can be developed that people don't even realize that they want. And that's the really, really, really hard part to do.
Right.
That's like, that's when you go all the way
Out of
back
the
to the
box
Steve Jobs
thinking,
saying,
yeah.
here's a tablet, and people are like, I don't need a
Yeah.
tablet, and guess what? Now it's like the largest growing market in the mobile computing space, which is not even the mobile computing space, it's just the computing space.
but from day one, that's all
basically-
Microsoft ever has done is imitate others.
catch up, playing catch up.
Even Windows was imitating the Mac.
Well, they bought an OS, or they licensed an
Seattle
OS. They bought an
DOS
OS and licensed it.
Yep, was MS-DOS.
But you also you have to stay ahead of the game. I don't think anyone realized what the cloud was going to be. Microsoft didn't realize it. Everyone knows now because it seems it's so ubiquitous. Duh, that's what's going on. But Google didn't need to create an Office suite per se the way Microsoft did. They just created something that works online and is an Office suite.
It's
Well,
interesting.
granted, Google also
all the-
actually
all-
acquired Google Docs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
it
that?
was
Yeah,
Google
true.
Docs. was
Google
an
buys
acquisition.
stuff. Yeah.
But they're very strategic, and they buy things that they actually see a future in, and they are more often than not right. Google Maps, another good example. Microsoft's problem is that they actually do. I think their R&D side is massive. They test all kinds of crazy ideas that are so crazy that they shouldn't even be testing them because they're
Like the Courier, which was a
well, no, that's
interesting
not even one.
idea.
I mean, that is not.
That was
what I'm
the
referring
that was
to.
the
Yes.
fold open tablet.
That might have been interesting, but they didn't
I
actually
thought
agree with that. Yeah, they didn't actually agree like that.
Well,
I mean, the Microsoft R&D group does all kinds of crazy stuff, but they don't actually productize any of it.
Right.
And so what they wind up with is a very watered down milquetoast version of their R&D products that come out before their time, but not quite ready for the market. And then they miss every single time. And it's such a simple pattern to watch happen. They need, as David said, they need a product guy. Well, I said they need a product guy, but he said they need a product guy who understands what people want when they don't even know they want that thing yet. That's the key here.
But there's little nuances, like when the Microsoft Surface, and the first time anyone saw that, I think most people were like, wow, that's amazing the way that you can manipulate what you're seeing.
And they
turned
announced
into-
that right after Apple's iPad announcement.
No, I thought they didn't. Are you
No,
sure?
yes. Apple announces the
I think the
iPad, and
Surface was out
Microsoft says,
before.
no, we've got a big-ass table.
I think the table
you
was
mean
out there before the
you mean
iPad.
the table, not the
The
tablet.
big-ass
Okay.
table I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. of
The
course.
original Surface.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was out before the announcement of the iPad.
This was a labs project. Apple said, we're going to do the iPad, and Microsoft said, oh, unless I'm completely wrong, chat room will fix me.
No, I'm like looking at it.
Yeah, watch for your
See, everyone's
correction.
like, table comes first.
I don't think so. I think that maybe the iPhone came first. The Touch came out from Apple. I'm pretty sure it was the iPhone, not the iPad. And as soon as they announced the iPhone, Microsoft said, well, we've got Surface in the lab, which they probably did beforehand.
And
Yeah, it
that
was
would have been
2008.
cool to see more of if they had done
2008.
it right.
So the iPhone had come out in 2007, 2008, the Surface.
I liked the Surface table. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, but there was no product there. There was no there.
Well, in Japan, you can order food off of your table, and it's awesome. And I want to do that here.
Wait, is it a Surface?
It's not a Surface. It's different
You
technology.
see Surface
but-
in Vegas at hotels, on cruise ships, there was some Surface. And if you've ever played with it, it doesn't work so good. It's a neat idea that's just not, okay, what do we got here? History.
It's great. Like you've got
The
a
idea for the
real-time
product was
fact-checking organization.
conceived in 2001. Yes, of course, it predates, and this was Microsoft's point, was they didn't announce it till 2008. After they saw the Windows Phone, they had to say, oh, but wait, we've been since 2001. You know, they were doing tablets since 2001 too, by the way,
Yep.
very publicly. What it seems to me that some have said this is the case. The problem with Microsoft is structural. That you have
Structure, it's culture. It's
culture.
it's less wood, fewer arrows, and what companies like Google are moving towards, and Apple is always
saying
really
no to the right product.
More wood, fewer arrows.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
Picking the right things.
Yeah.
Right?
Hard to do.
They don't say no. They say yes to everything.
Right.
And is it any
you
wonder
have
none of it's very good?
Fiefdoms like Office that are powerful and say to other products, I think Courier was an example, you can't do that because it will eat out our core product, and they kill products because of this infighting.
It'd be nice to see them take some more chances.
So what Ballmer said is that we're going to become a devices and services business. We're going to get, we're moving away from PCs. We're going to do devices like Surface, and we're going to do services like Azure. The transition is going to happen. It's going to take longer than I can be here. I'm 57, so I want somebody in now who can take that through all the way. Mary Jo Foley of Windows Weekly got to talk and all about Microsoft.com, got to talk with Ballmer the day of his announcement. She said, "What's your biggest regret?" He says, I've actually had he was, by the way, very folksy with her. It's kind of an interesting interview. "I've actually had a chance to make a lot of mistakes, and probably because, people all want to focus on period A, period B. But I would say probably the thing I regret most is the, what shall I call it? The loopity-loo."
Come on, you kind of love him, right? He's hilarious.
He's folksy. The loopity-loo we did that was sort of Longhorn to Vista. Now, it's funny because that mistake, while people were paying attention in the business knew about it, was not a public mistake. Microsoft had announced Longhorn, its next generation Windows. And a year or two into the project said, "Oops, we can't do it, so we're going to rewrite everything from scratch." Then Vista came out, which was a public failure. He's not talking about that. He's talking about the failure of Longhorn, as if anybody even knew that happened.
Well, it must have been a lot of internal strife.
Internal must have been nightmarish,
yeah. That said,
I think he was fired. I think the nail in the coffin was the $900 million write-off for Surface RT. I think it became very apparent to the board that Windows 8 had failed, and that Ballmer was leading the company in no particular direction. And they said, we need to have somebody in here who at least can make an effort at this. So by the way, Ballmer made more money that day than he has in his whole career at
When the stock went
Microsoft.
up,
$700 and some odd million.
like another $1 billion.
A 7% jump in his stock value. Yeah, $700 million, almost $1 billion just for quitting.
Well, because people are excited that maybe, a behemoth like Microsoft, I mean, it's kind of like, you can fire, even if you say he was an amazing CEO, sometimes, he could be a good CEO of another company, and in a sports team might fire a coach who's good, but they just need to hit the reset button. I mean, with a lot of strategy. So it's going to be really tough for them to, there's a lot of talented people, but for them to find a CEO that's worthy of righting the ship, and there's a lot less work that needs to be done there, I think, than at Yahoo, I think. But it's a huge task to find someone who's both a savvy businessman and an extreme product visionary, because you don't always need the CEO to be the visionary, but at a company like Microsoft, I think it requires that kind of a visionary.
Or businesswoman.
A good point. Let's get a woman in there.
I mean, it's going to be
Well, I was going to volunteer.
pretty cool to see.
You'd look good in drag.
It could be really neat to see who comes in next, and then, do they really turn this thing around? Do they turn that ship?
To your point, bringing in Marissa Mayer was a bit of a...
Someone said Jerry Yang.
Yeah. Bringing in Marissa Mayer at Yahoo was a bit of a surprise, but turned out to be a very smart move.
Yeah.
At the very least, because it told developers, hey, we're going to bring in somebody that you will want to work for.
It changed the whole culture, there completely.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of, injection of kick-ass that Microsoft needs right now.
Mary Jo Foley asked Ballmer, did Bill Gates ask you to stay or go? No, says Ballmer. Bill, I mean, no.
No.
Bill, I don't know I wish we could hear the audio. But anyway, I'm reading the transcript. Bill respects my decision. I mean, it's one of those things if it's, ultimately these kinds of things have to be one's own personal decision. In other words, Bill did not try to talk me out of this, right? So at the very least, the board didn't say, oh, please, Steve, please stick around.
Well, yeah. And how could they, right? I mean, if you look at their stock price over the last 10 plus years, it's flat. And flat means down, because your stock has to rise at least with inflation in order to be keeping the dollars level. So, it was time. It's time. I think, like I said before, the board knew it. He probably knew it. It's the right moment. I agree. It's the right moment. It's past due. Let's not drag this out any longer.
So who do you hire?
I don't know. Maybe Jay
Allard.
Oh, bring him back
Maybe
in,
Robbie
yeah.
Bach.
Both
those guys did not get along well together at all.
Right.
It's not both. It's one
I would
or the
love
other.
to see Jay Allard in there. That'd be pretty
Jay
cool.
Allard is the guy who convinced Bill to bet big on the internet. And then he was the guy who convinced Bill to bet on the Xbox.
So what do you need somebody like that who's a visionary, or do you need somebody who can kick some ass?
Both?
I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
Yeah, that can be
I mean,
both.
he's clearly an effective operator.
You think so?
Yeah. I think so.
It probably does need to be somebody who understands the Microsoft culture. It's not going to be...
Yes.
And I don't know who's available.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to go pluck
somebody
out
says
Phil
Paula
Schiller.
Dean is available.
Paula Dean's available.
Yeah. She's not working right now.
I will say, for whatever it's worth, I met Ballmer a few times. He's
Tim Tebow.
as crazy as he is.
Thanks,
he's
Chapman.
also a really nice guy.
He sounds like a nice guy.
He is a really, really nice guy. He's super friendly. He's really warm. He's just also happens to be totally crazy.
The best ones are.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Elon Musk?
I mean, different crazy.
He's got
There's different kinds of crazy.
Elon
Musk is crazy in a very different way than
Tesla
Ballmer.
and SpaceX through so he can build the Hyperloop.
Yeah.
Because he said if he's not going to do it, but he said in 5 years, if no one's doing it, in 5 years maybe I'll have done enough of what I want to do with my other two companies that I'll focus on something like that.
Well, good, because I think I would love to take a ride that would scramble my brain on the way and descramble it on the other side. What kind of acceleration do you have to get to, what was it, 700 miles an hour?
Yeah,
Miles an hour. But it never goes above a half G.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
you know, slow.
They showed all the acceleration curves.
Most of
in
the
white
time
paper.
is spent accelerating and decelerating, probably.
Depends. In Northern California, once you get to the Central Valley, then it's all kind of flat and even.
Right.
And, yeah.
That's when you speed up.
Yeah, that's when you speed up.
We're going to take a break. We got a good panel here and a good story. I think that Steve Ballmer story is great. The rest of it's all downhill. So thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time. Our show, no, I'm not going to say that because we want you to stick around because we've got 4 ads to do. Our show is brought to you by... Hey, I'm honest. I'm the Steve Ballmer of Twit.
I don't know.
Advertisers.
He did that, you know. He actually responded to his developers and said, it's advertisers. Our show today brought to you by an advertiser we love, Squarespace.com. You know, earlier today I brought Google down on the radio show, and I just wanted to tell Google you should probably go to Squarespace and ask them how they do it, because you cannot bring... I was showing your set-top box spreadsheet on Google Docs.
Oh.
I mentioned on the radio show. Now, admittedly, the radio show is in 200 stations and probably like 1 million people. If maybe 20,000 people tried to all visit that spreadsheet, it probably would bring it down. I don't know. It did. Whatever happened, maybe it was coincidence. But Google's CDN in Mountain View went down. So Squarespace, go ahead. Everybody go, let's say, to inside our blog, insidetwit.tv, inside.twit.tv. That's our Squarespace blog. If you all go there at once, everybody watching, you can't bring it down. Squarespace is the best hosting, plus the best content management system, all mixed together into one. Now, I admit we haven't really taken advantage of the great Squarespace templates there. We got to update that. It's pretty straightforward. If you visit squarespace.com, you'll see these gorgeous new templates. Click the Get Started button, and you'll get to select a template to start. They have designers working all the time to create new templates. The newest is Momentum, which is a full-bleed, gorgeous website for a photographer or a designer who really wants the images to stand out. But then if you scroll down, you'll see all the different customers using Momentum, and each one is unique, different, beautiful. Squarespace.com. Here's the deal. Go there right now. Click the Get Started button. You got 2 weeks. Just mess with it. You can import data from your existing site. They support all the blog APIs. You can set it up. You play with the templates. The nice thing is the templates are decoupled from the content, so you can try every template one after the other. Not, it's press a button, it switches. If you decide you want to stick around, I want you to try it. Great prices. Starts at $8 a month. The Commerce is only $24 a month with the annual plan. When you get the annual plan, you do get some additional features, including free domain name, and they'll hook it all up for you. Unlimited bandwidth. You'll never get a bandwidth bill either. I love that. Squarespace.com. And do tweet us with your Squarespace website so we can highlight...
Swordandlaser.com.
Are you using Sword and... Oh, there we go. Yes. Sword and Laser. So what you should do, so that we'll mention it on Twit, is tweet it with the hashtag #TwitSquarespace, okay? And then maybe in a few weeks we'll take a look at swordandlaser.com. Oh, I'll do it now. All right. Yeah. Did you do this yourself?
I did, yes.
Yeah, that's fun. That's cool.
It's not too fancy,
We should just watch this show.
Yeah, just watch that show.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by sword and laser. Here's one, Josh and Christy. I think we showed this last week, joshandchristy.com. This is a wedding. Did you guys use Squarespace for your
Our wedding page?
Block
We did.
Mom,
Yeah, we did.
right?
I don't know if the site is still up.
I don't think it is.
No, you don't need it anymore. You're married.
That's true.
Josh and Christy did that, which is really
Oh, that's
sweet.
pretty.
Yeah. The wedding, the destination. The nice thing is, if you're going to get married and the whole thing's you got 2 weeks free. So, like, get engaged, get married within 2 weeks, go on the honeymoon, and then you can let the site go and it costs you nothing.
Yes.
How
That is
about that?
actually, I think, exactly what happened.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Did we pay for it?
You told me you went
I
to
thought
like
it was just a trial.
special wedding site, and
Oh,
it
I
was
was using.
sucky.
Yeah, no, it wasn't sucky. It just I was using Britt Morin's site, but I can't remember
Oh.
exactly what it was called. But it didn't have all the features that we needed for,
Oh,
for
okay.
our site.
So you went to Squarespace.
So I went to Squarespace, so
2
we could
weeks
just
later,
use it.
who cares? It's over.
Totally.
We're married. Done. Oh, look, their registry is still online. joshandchristy.com.
Oh, which we get them.
Oh, I don't know.
So how to game Squarespace for your wedding? That's awesome.
Yeah. I asked them once, you guys
Because the rest of the wedding is so inexpensive, and like we can save that $15.
That's true. That's a good point. It's not exactly a huge expense. Tweet a link with Twit Squarespace, and we will, as the hashtag, we will look at it next week, okay? Love to see some of those sites. Is this one? Here's JoJo in our chat room, 1150short.com. He's a filmmaker. 1150, S-H-O-R-T. I would guess you're making short films.
Oh,
It is
neat.
See that? This is
That's
that
the
full
same-
bleed. Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah, that's the same theme we used for our wedding site.
You actually
Yeah,
recognize it.
definitely.
But you know what's cool is every site looks completely different. And that's one of the things I really like about Squarespace. 1150short.com. Isn't that gorgeous? Squarespace. Give it a try today. Use our offer code when you buy. I didn't even mention this. Use our offer code TWIT8 and you'll save 10% off. If you get a yearly plan, that's a big savings on your new site. TWIT and the number 8 for the month of August. Thank you, JoJo. Moving along. Is it your own coding or markup?
I was asking him which site he's talking about. Because if it was
Sword and Laser
Squarespace,
or
I did that all myself.
That's
But if
neat.
it was
The wedding?
my personal site, I had someone do that.
But you're also on Squarespace for your personal?
No, I use WordPress on my
WordPress,
personal.
yeah. I think we've done enough on Microsoft. Shall we move along? Waze is starting to show up in Google Maps. That's pretty cool.
Yay.
Yay. Are you Waze users?
Yes.
Love Waze.
Love Waze.
Love Waze, but isn't it kind of janky?
It's a little janky.
What do you mean
It's such a-
janky?
It's just like it does some things so well, and then you type in a destination, you search
Well,
for something, and it can't find it.
But they're adding Google
Oh.
search
I
to that
I know, but I'm just
So-
saying, like,
It's gotten better, but you're right. And that's because they had the weirdest search. Like
Yeah.
they were using Yelp and some other thing and some
that's what
other
I'm saying.
thing.
It's just
and
like
then you
it's
would
a
search-
little janky. Like
But it got
it's
better right away.
frayed around the edges.
But as soon as Google bought them, I noticed that search worked almost every time.
Yeah.
So they must have fixed the back end on that. They bought them in June for more than $1 billion to keep them away from Apple and Facebook and everybody else who was courting them. Actually, I think Waze already had turned down Apple. Apple didn't want to spend enough money. And now we're starting to see the traffic alerts. But what's not in there is the ability to add a traffic alert in Google Maps, right?
Right.
So you see
probably.
that there was an accident, but you can't.
Yeah.
In Waze, you can wave your hand over it and say, there's a cop.
Or the 3-finger tap.
You do that or the
3-finger
wave?
Tap. I do the 3-finger tap.
Yeah, you have to because the wave you wave all the time, and it's always asking me, what?
What do you want?
What do you want? What?
What's happening?
What
do you want?
What? I love Waze, though.
I'm actually kind of
pretty
glad
great.
though that it's not in main Google Maps, because I think so many people use Google Maps, and it opens up. People who use Google Maps are not used to using it the way that people who use Waze are used to using Waze.
Right.
And sometimes when you cross the streams, you get wonkiness.
Well, I
and
think-
I'm
right.
glad not to have all that junk data.
I think all that's integrated right now is the accident warnings and,
Right, and traffic.
Yeah.
traffic or,
Well, and that makes
big
Google
time
Maps
things.
a lot better.
Yeah.
Google's had a lot of difficulties with traffic in Google Maps over the years. Remember, they were shutting down the traffic data for a long time, and I guess they're bringing it back now with Waze because they have a better traffic data system. But they've had difficulties getting it
Which
right.
is funny because it was it Garmin or TomTom that was using the Google Maps traffic API?
A lot of companies.
A lot
use
of
the
my
companies
new
were, and
car-
it wasn't very good, so that kind of ruins the whole.
You drive a
flow.
Tesla, right?
Both Ryan and I do.
You drive a Tesla, right? I'm pointing like this. You drive a Tesla, right? Does it have Google Earth, Google Maps?
It has Google Maps integrated, and what actually we were complaining about on the drive up here, that you can get the road sensor traffic data through onto the map in the car, but when you're doing drive time predictions, it won't add that to it. So, like, if I open my phone and go to Google Maps and say, how long does it take to get from Petaluma to San Francisco, based on the traffic, and the phone will say it's going to take you over an hour. The Tesla would say, no, it'll take you 40 minutes. Even though
the reason why that is because they use Google Maps, but they use their own actual navigation system, meaning like the actual drawing of the route and where you're going to go and how long it's going to take and should you avoid this street and take that street. All of that is done on the Tesla site, and it sucks.
Yeah. It's bad.
It's really bad.
I think you should send the car back.
Just get rid of it.
I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to burn it.
The nice thing is it's a software update away, for the most part.
No, it's too long to wait.
Burn it.
But I think it's cool that there's so many amazing features in Waze, and people want to have that as Waze by itself, and that I think the slow integration of the things that might enhance Google Maps is the smart way to do it, because most of what people are talking about and seeing some of this is just they're trickling in small elements that they think will enhance it slowly. And so then hopefully that allows them to, as they start taking more of it, allows them to be smart about the implementation and also even seeing, user feedback.
Yeah. Yeah, people get used to it when it's in just little
And by the way,
changes.
the Waze Street View is ending up in the Waze map editor, which is really weird. But I guess that helps you do a better job of fixing the map if you could see where you are. Now, apparently the FTC is retroactively, because the deal's already gone through, reviewing the deal. Can the FTC after the fact say, "Oh, give them the money back"? It's no good.
Awkward.
That is awkward.
So normally when you do a deal like that, there's a kill fee or some kind of a fee associated.
Fee.
So so if the deal falls apart for whatever reason, then Waze gets a couple $100 million for their trouble. I don't know if they can, but I mean, I would imagine the FTC can do whatever the hell the FTC wants to do.
Just put them all in jail.
That sounds like the right course of action.
This is escalating quickly.
Burn the car, put them in jail. I'm going to take charge. I want to be the kick-ass CEO at Microsoft. That's how you handle these things. By the way, Google is apparently, now Google won't admit this, but according to sources, and this is Peter Kafka, who's pretty good at all things D, Google's CEO Larry Page, Robert Kyncl, who's the boss of content at YouTube, met with the NFL recently, led by Commissioner Roger Goodell. Apparently, there might be some bidding. Google might bid for the Sunday ticket package. Currently, DirecTV has that for $1 billion a year.
Extremely smart on both sides.
Wouldn't it be cool?
Because it's clear, over the top, I guess that's the word, right? It's clear that people get their entertainment and they're used to getting their entertainment, getting more and more used to getting their entertainment without,
over the internet.
Yeah, over the internet.
Disintermediated.
So, I mean, the thing for the NFL is I think that it behooves them to make sure that they also have a deal so that it can be seen by people that don't necessarily have. I mean, I think they want it to be seen by as many people as possible that are willing to pay for it.
Right.
So, like, the way it is right now for DirecTV is I could stream any football game on my phone if I either, one, have a DirecTV account, or B, can prove to DirecTV that I am not capable of getting service via one of their satellites. Otherwise, I'm not getting NFL Sunday ticket.
Huh.
What would the third have been in that list? Because you said one and then B.
A and then B.
And then
I.
Did I say there was a third?
Anyway, don't tease him. He's a nice guy.
I just remember, when CBS and
he drives a Tesla,
when CBS was having a huge fight with Time Warner.
Still are, aren't they? That hasn't been resolved.
But it was funny that there's some people that didn't quite realize, and it was like this magic epiphany, like, I can get it over the air.
You know why?
Amazing.
You know why CBS is waiting? They're waiting for the NFL season to start, because then Time Warner's got to cave. Their subscribers are going to say, "Where's my football?" That's why football is huge in this, and this could be the turning point if you can get something like this to happen. I had a guy call the radio show today. He says, "I want to watch Pac-12 football, and it's not on Time Warner. It's not on Verizon Fios. You can't watch it, and even though it's streaming on the internet, they all do this. HBO does this too. You have to sign in using your cable company, prove you actually pay for it on regular TV. And this is an example of how we're stuck in the Middle Ages. We haven't made that transition to internet television.
Well, that's why no one can license content very well.
It sucks.
Or even if you're creating your own content, you can't get away from these legacy deals. So, you look at HBO.
Yeah, I was just
and
going to
they've got some of the best
deals. Yeah.
But the way that you can use HBO Go and you can watch any episode of any series that HBO has ever made, ever. But they don't have the right to sell that themselves freely yet because there are too many of these deals.
You've seen that amazing Kevin Spacey speech.
I didn't watch it, but it's funny because Olivia Wilde said the same thing this week too in an article on BuzzFeed that she wrote. So it seems like there's a lot of activity around, in the Hollywood space from content creators and actors.
You know why? If you're a content creator, this just stops you. This just gets in your way.
You just want eyeballs. You just want people to watch your stuff.
You want to go directly to your audience. So Spacey, it's too long to play the whole thing. I highly recommend you watch it. He was speaking in Edinburgh at the International Television Festival, presented by YouTube, and he talks about the House of Cards Netflix deal.
Netflix is
one
great.
of the things Spacey says
like TV.
is that we shopped. Well, he said, here's one problem: pilots. He said hundreds of millions of dollars are spent every year in the pilot system to make TV shows, and of which fewer than half ever get produced. He said, we didn't want to do a pilot on House of Cards because it's an artificial constraint in that first episode. We wanted to tell a story that would take 12 episodes to develop, that was very subtle. You can't put enough in a pilot to tell. We didn't want to do a pilot. So when Netflix said, not only do you not have to do a pilot, you can produce all your episodes, we'll put them all on the internet at the same time.
They're still lucky. Very lucky.
Well,
it's so hard to make, everyone was giving
great
credit.
show.
I love Netflix, and I think they did a good
Orange
job
is the
with
New
this.
Black.
But when they developed House of
Arrested
Cards, they did the
Development.
same formula that any other good TV series is. They came up with a good script, got some good actors, and they created using the same methods of making
remember
television.
who's pitching
except
this?
they did their distribution model was
Well,
different.
Remember
different
who's pitching
methods.
this? It's David Fincher and Kevin Spacey. And they couldn't get the networks. They couldn't say, hey, I'm David Fincher, I'm Kevin Spacey. Buy this. The network said, no, you have to do a pilot. Netflix was the only company that said, no, we'll give you $100 million, produce it.
And it's also a totally different method because they have the ability to create an entire season up front of the content. I mean, a lot of times when a show goes to television, it gets cut off halfway through, it gets canceled, or it makes it through the first season, the second season gets canceled. Suddenly the whole show is changing its very format, it's changing its storylines because of these restrictions based on the season lengths. So this actually gives storytellers the opportunity to tell the full story without having to worry about getting canceled mid-season.
Exactly. And the speech ends with him saying, listen, we're blowing it. There's an opportunity to give the viewers what they want, and we're blowing it. As storytellers, he says he loves the idea of binge viewing.
Yeah.
He says, I don't
we all
care.
do too.
Yeah, we do. That's what we want.
Yeah.
We want to watch Game of Thrones all at once. There's no reason not to, right? Except for maybe word of mouth and buzz. You do give that up, right? A little bit. If we're not all,
I don't know, because
Red Wedding. Oh my God! Tweet.
True. I guess for those like linchpin episodes, maybe.
But the more people who have access to it and who can watch it, and the easier you make it to get into, to get really passionate about it, the more viral feedback you're going to get anyway. So I think you make it up in other ways.
They did the best of both worlds because they're doing 2 seasons, right? So they launched one season, everybody watched it, House of Cards, all at once, and there's still going to be a second season, so they have the chance to get the buzz. If you haven't watched this speech, first of all, play a little audio because he's a great speaker.
If you're watching a film on your television, is it no longer a film because you're not watching it in the theater?
Oh, you remember
if you
we
watch a
had him on,
TV show on your iPad, is it no longer a TV show?
And Dana Brunetti.
The device
He won
and the length are
an
irrelevant.
Oscar for something.
The labels are useless, except perhaps to agents and managers and lawyers who use these labels to conduct business deals. But for kids growing up now, there's no difference. Watching Avatar on an iPad or watching YouTube on a TV or watching Game of Thrones on their computer. It's all content. It's just story. And the audience...
Keep playing. No, this is actually, let's play this through because this is really the salient point.
Want stories.
He says the audience wants stories.
They want stories. They're dying for them.
Can you put pleat up?
Rooting for us to give them the right thing. And they will talk about it, binge on it, carry it with them on the bus and to the hairdresser, force it on their friends, tweet, blog, Facebook, make fan pages, silly GIFs, and God knows what else about it.
GIF.
Damn it,
It's a
Kevin
GIF.
Spacey.
He's saying it right.
Passion
No.
and intimacy that a blockbuster movie could only dream of. And all we have to do is give it to them. The prize fruit is right there, shinier and juicier than it's ever been before. So it will be all the more shame on each and every one of us if we don't reach out and seize it.
This guy speaks like an
And I want to leave you with the words of a man as good as any to address the nexus of commerce and art, Mr. Orson Welles. who once said, "I hate television. I hate it as much as peanuts. But I just can't stop eating peanuts."
Really, highly recommend you watch this speech. He's a great speaker. By the way, if Microsoft wants to hire him, I'd be supporting. But he's a great speaker, but he really makes the point, and anybody who creates content, we're all content creators. We don't care about pipes. Maybe you do. You're a pipe guy now all of a sudden, Ryan Block.
I'm not a pipe guy.
Okay, good.
But there's so many
Get
different
off
models.
the pipe. Well, we're content creators, and we shouldn't have to worry about pipes. We should worry about our audience getting it in whatever way works for them.
But then
That's what he's saying.
But also in whatever way that they're willing to compensate for it. So like for Twit, it's supported by ads. For other services, they're either buying them as one-off episodes or one-off series, or they're buying a subscription to the likes of a Netflix, or they're even going like the Louis C.K. route, which is I'm going to put this comedy piece up, and I'm going to ask you to please pay for it.
There's many models, but you know what? Netflix has already made the money back for House of Cards. They said because of the number, we got something like 600,000 new subscribers for Arrested Development that paid for Arrested Development. It's been a very effective strategy for Netflix. I agree, Orange is the new black. Another example of somebody who has a track record, and this is one thing to point out. In every case, these guys have a track record. It's Genji Cohen. She did Weeds. She's really, really good.
Right.
And it was a good book that they're basing it on, and I agree. I love it.
Oh, it's so good.
Can't stop binge watching again. You can't stop watching it. And in fact, that's a good example. I think that show, of all of them, was most crafted for that model because the way that show is done is each episode is about one of the people in prison with her and their backstory. And so it probably wouldn't work as well weekly. I don't know why, but I just feel like it's designed for Netflix.
Well, you know, that's interesting that you say that because actually I would think that a more self-contained episode would be more, network TV, normal,
maybe you're right,
because that way if they do cut off a season, you have more, the episodes are more
you
encapsulated.
You can stop at any point,
But who knows? I mean, they did a lot of interesting stuff, I think, with that.
Deep Pan in our chat room
just said
says,
Alex isn't coming back. She's not going to be on the show. The character who plays Alex.
Why not?
Laura, what's her face from that 70s show?
She's got busy?
She's only going to be in a couple episodes next season. I'm very sad. Very sad.
One of our chatters had a good point. He said, and I want to give him credit, so let me get this right. Deep Pan says, when Da Vinci created the Mona Lisa, did he care what sort of horse and cart delivered it? Not to its audience. Maybe that's not such a good point. I don't think what he's saying is that
a one-of-a-kind piece of art that only a select few upper-class people would ever be able
it wasn't a famous painting until it got stolen 100 years ago. Before that, it was like, some girl smiling.
They just changed the lighting on the Mona Lisa.
It's just some girl.
Some new technology
anyway,
light it up more.
The story that got us started, Google, perhaps, and Google says, we're not talking. And it may be a complete pipe dream. We've seen this with Google before. We thought they were going to get into the, in the broadband business or the mobile phone business with the 700 megahertz spectrum. They didn't do it.
Well, I think the NFL just, they would prefer to control it even more. I mean, they've got the NFL Network. If they could get away with broadcasting 100% of the games on themselves, then they wouldn't be selling ad deals to networks. They'd be selling the ads themselves.
They'd make more money.
Pocketing more of it.
We'd pay less, and they'd get more.
Maybe the NFL should become a broadband provider and then just distribute their own games. I mean,
it's got to be
sounds
somebody
ridiculous, and they're probably not going to do it, but if
so
they could,
crazy,
they would.
it just might work.
It's got to be somebody with that kind of clout because everybody else is afraid of pissing off Comcast, right? Or CBS or whoever. They can't afford to piss off their current delivery method to go to a new delivery method. So they're straddling these two.
I remember when the NFL Network launched, and they were able to strong arm some of the cable providers by saying, if you don't carry this in your basic package, we won't provide these games in this way. And so they said, well, you need to have more reasons for people to watch.
Right.
So they were trying to be able to carry more. You'll see like there'll be multiple times a year where they've got like the Thursday night game or something like that that's only on the NFL Network.
I mean, if Google really wants to reinvent this, and they should, here's what you do. You give people a year of NFL direct ticket with a Chromecast, $35 Chromecast. It's part of the deal.
That's your buy-in, yeah.
And Google loses money on it. It's $1 billion buy, but they get what they want.
They got the money. But to be fair, like the NFL is taking meetings with tons of different content companies.
Yes. In fact, they were touring
networks,
Silicon Valley. But I think this is the kind of thing Google needs to do. I really do.
No, I think this is the kind of thing that Google needs to do.
Google is going to do this. Are you ready for Hello, you're in a Johnny Cab. Remember that from the original, the good version of Total Recall? Thank you. Why do I always forget that name? I don't know why. Arnold Schwarzenegger's wonderful movie where he gets in the car and they're so nervous about a self-driving car that they have a mannequin that turns its head with a cab driver's head. Hello, you're in a Johnny cab. Where can I take you? Google apparently is talking to contract manufacturers, the kind of people who build cars for other companies, to build new cars to Google specifications, cars that would drive themselves. This is from Jessica Lesson's new blog. What is she going to do? What is she? What is she up
She's
to?
going to do a subscription service, I think, for the site, or for whatever site comes after she's done posting on her personal site.
She left the Wall Street Journal after 8 years, and is currently posting to JessicaLesson.com. Actually, this is by one of her writers.
I think she's working on a premium content site.
Yeah, it must be, huh? Good for her. Good for her. The move came after Google's talks with big car brands about incorporating its technology into their vehicles failed to yield a partnership.
I'm so surprised that legacy car companies could not get it together.
But they're also focused on the potential for an autonomous car it designs to become part of a robo-taxi service that picks people up on demand.
Hey, you know what? I don't like that idea.
Really?
I'm not ready for it
You
yet.
scared of that?
Not ready. I'm not
Nobody's
ready.
in the front driver's seat? You sit in the back seat, it just goes?
One step at a time.
Heavy traffic?
I'm so ready. I'm ready for all of the cars to be self-driving because then you can drive across the 405 in LA and do it at 75 miles an hour and
But
with
then
more
all
cars.
the cars have to
I know,
be
that's what I mean. I
automated.
can't
No,
wait
they
until-
don't. That's the beauty of this.
Well, you'll
Google
have
cars have not had an accident. The only accident they had is when the driver panicked and grabbed the wheel, and then they had an accident.
I think they got rear-ended or something.
The autonomous vehicles, because that LiDAR, that's what's beautiful about this. You don't have to change infrastructure. Nobody else has to be autonomous. Obviously, you're going to have an accident if somebody goes,
Right.
but
Chances are you're not going to get out of the way of that
But
anyway.
so I was talking to somebody from Google X about this, and what you said is not inaccurate, but, and there's a big but, they're self-driving right now on freeways.
I like big
and
buts.
not.
I cannot lie.
I'm sorry.
Those other brothers might. Never
And
mind.
other brothers
They're
can't
self-driving
deny.
right now on freeways.
When a girl
When I
walks
walked in with the itty bitty,
yeah, I'm sorry.
the
we're
itty bitty
having a
waist
moment
and around
online.
thing in
Go
your
ahead,
face,
take
you
your
get.
time. I'll be here.
Get what?
Sorry.
You get sprung. What? What does that mean?
Inappropriate.
That's inappropriate. It's like a watch, when the mainspring goes boing.
Boing. Would you like more wine?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. There's a big but. I believe that's where we stopped. There's a big but. What is that? Big
They
but?
only self-drive on freeways.
On freeways.
You can't go from a parking lot to a destination.
Oh, that is a big
You
but.
can't go from point A to point B.
Let's say caveat.
Yet.
Yet.
I like
Yeah,
big
we'll get better.
caveats. I cannot lie.
So right now,
take you for
basically,
that
once you
kinda
get
guy.
onto a freeway, it can kind of take over for you. But you have to drive it to the freeway. And then once you get off the freeway, you have to drive it from the freeway. So we're still a ways off.
So that's, in fact, exactly what Mercedes said. Daimler's chief executive said, we want to automate the boring elements of driving, being stuck on the 405 or, zooming down the I-5 with no traffic. But we would, quote, never automate the cool part of driving, which obviously is getting out of the parking lot and merging.
Exactly.
The 2014 S-Class can slow or speed up depending on the movement of a car in front of you. Actually, a lot of cars have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but imagine how cool it's going to be when even if you're driving not off you're manually driving off the freeway. As soon as you merge, you join the quote unquote network. So not only is the car able to be using its sensors with precision, but it's also able to see what the other cars are doing through a network. So it allows all the traffic to flow extremely efficiently. So you can have a packed freeway and still be driving 70 miles an hour.
Plus, the idea of car ownership, which is already, thanks to Zipcar and other car sharing services, already kind of being softened. That's really a waste. I mean, how many of us have automobiles that sit idle a lot of the time? That's a waste of resources, a waste of, So, but don't feel bad. That's the American way. But you don't really need to own a car. You just need a car a little bit. So if you could push it, on your RoboCar app on your phone, get me a car. It comes out and takes you to Neiman Marcus. You buy the shoes, takes you home. You're done.
I do like shoes.
Did you get those Manolos that you tried on, by the way?
No, they were
Oh, that's right.
Louboutin.
Louboutin.
Yeah.
See, I follow you. You think I'm not paying attention.
I didn't
but
buy
I
them,
am.
no.
They were nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't buy them.
Google apparently is seriously considering robo-taxis. They're looking at U.S. cities where they could launch a service. It would be similar to Google's Fiber project, in which they would launch it in a city or two at first. At first, the robo-taxis, according to this article, by the way, it is on jessicalesson.com, but Amir Efrati is the author of this. According to Amir, the people would have to sit behind the wheel in case of emergencies. You couldn't sit in the back seat.
You had to sit in the front.
You'd have to sit here with your hands.
You'd be responsible.
Yeah.
Do you have to pay attention?
I don't want to do that.
Because that's the whole self-driving car thing that I'm excited about.
Backseat.
Would be, you just sit there reading a magazine.
Right.
While you're driving.
Did you see the episode of The Simpsons when he was a trucker and all the truckers have a secret that no one knew other than the truckers, that the trucks are all self-driving and you can just hang out and do nothing?
I don't remember that.
It's really good.
Okay.
I think he was stoned when he saw it.
I actually do think that'll happen in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
In our lifetimes?
Yes. Just not, it's going to, 20, 30 years, right? It's not
It's
right around
already happening, really. If you look at the high-end stuff, I don't know, do you have lane assist in your Teslas or any of that stuff?
No. They're building it, but not yet.
My new car, which comes in a week, or a month rather, is going to have all of that. If you start to drift out of a lane, it pre-tensions the seatbelt, tries to get the wheel, vibrates the wheel, tries to get you to steer back.
I just love
it actually has cruise control that will actually stop the car. If the guy
but my
guy
problem
in
is-
front of you stops, you'll stop.
But that's
I
the
love
coolest thing.
driving.
That's what they say, that people love driving, so
Okay, but you can disengage those systems.
you turn it off.
But imagine if you drove from San Francisco to Petaluma every day.
So boring.
Then you could just not
I did.
drive and listen to audiobooks.
This I don't
instead.
have to imagine. It was horrible.
But I do drive and listen to audiobooks, and that was.
I was giving Leo
okay.
a segue.
I was afraid of dying. Oh, you want to do it?
No. I just
saw
thought
it.
it was
So
I
good.
just thought it was
That
like,
was so
I just
well
tossed
done.
it out and I thought you were gonna like.
You know,
So
it's-
well done, so subtle. I didn't pick up on it
do
either.
that as like a
I don't think any
sponsor
of us
toss.
picked up on that.
It's true though that I finally was so relieved when I finally stopped commuting to Tech TV, because I was fairly sure, because I would get sleepy going home almost every time. I was fairly sure if I kept doing this, I would die.
Look at you and me.
We're both HTC One owners.
That's cool.
You know what I just bought is the Devil bumper. It's
I need
an
a bumper.
aluminum. This one's not so great, but the Devil one's coming in a couple of days. It's an red aluminum bumper that matches the styling of the one. Isn't the one great?
It is
Don't you
really
love
nice.
it?
I do love it.
Yeah. You're
Sorry,
an
I
iPhone guy
derailed
still.
the conversation.
We'll talk-
That's
you know
actually
what?
that's
You used
actually
to
my
do that
phone.
commute and send pictures
one.
on Text America. There's the
Text America.
the early Instagram.
Mo-blogging,
Yes.
it was
Mo-blogging,
called.
Blogging.
Mo blogging.
Isn't it funny? You can have an idea, but if the time is not right, it doesn't matter. Jade and those guys really were all in on Mo-blogging, and I think they're gone now. They're done.
Yep.
Let's talk about Audible, and then when we come back, let's talk about iPhones, because the rumors are rife. They're flying. See, I put a ROM on here, so you see how that looks a little different?
See, I've got
Yeah.
a launcher.
Ooh, which launcher are you using?
Smart launcher.
I saw that. I saw you talked about. Here, put it over here so we can see it. So you like this one?
Yeah.
I use Nova Launcher,
Oh, nice.
which is just very generic. You know, it just makes it look like.
I've got my little widgets.
Oh, this is pretty. Smart Launcher?
Yeah, smart launcher.
Oh, I'm gonna have to try. Is that new?
The pro version is like $5, but it's nice. No, I don't think it's new.
I'm kind of a launcher fan.
Yeah.
Ooh, purdy.
That you can do.
Very purdy. Much nicer than mine.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I dig it.
Brian said this is his phone.
It is. It is. I dropped my iPhone in the ocean.
Oh, dear. Okay.
My iPhone
Okay.
went
What
to
do
the
you
bottom
think?
of the
Would
sea.
you maybe want to stick with the one?
I'm thinking I'm going to
pretty
give it a
good,
little more
huh?
time. The problem is this version only has 3G, so it's a little bit slower.
I got 4G on this one.
Unfortunately.
Do you like these Zoes?
Yes,
I
I
love
did. I've been
Zoes.
putting them up on Google Plus,
Yes.
actually,
Aren't they great?
which is nice because it does the automatic gifage.
You can leave now, Ryan. We're having
We're having a moment.
Yeah, Ms. Mix-a-Lot. Before we go on, let's talk about the iPhone, phones in general. There's a lot of phone news. In fact, I have in my pocket an 8-inch phone, the Note 8, the Mega. Actually, I don't have it in my pocket because you can't fit it. The Mega, which is 6.6 inches, the 5-inch Galaxy S4, the 4.7-inch HTC One, and the 4-inch Mini. Crazy.
Did you ever read that book, Paradox of Choice?
No, but you're going to tell us all about it in just a moment. Maybe it's on Audible.
It's probably on Audible. And if it is, you should read it.
I will.
Or listen to it.
Listen to it.
Too much choice is a
Read
bad
it,
thing.
air quotes.
Yeah, well, I personally, it is on Audible. I personally like Choice, but I'll listen to this. Why More is Less by Barry Schwartz, narrated by Ken Klebon. It is available on Audible. So let's tell you how you can get this and another book absolutely free. What is Audible? Well, I probably shouldn't have to tell you this. This is the best audio bookstore in the world. 150,000 titles, books, performances, comedy, radio shows, anything audio, they've got it. And what's nice, all the new books nowadays come out on Audible, day and date, which is really great. We've got a new Nora Roberts coming this fall. The new Stephen King, which is the successor to It.
Oh, scary.
Dr. Sleep.
No, thank you.
No, not It.
Return of the Cloud?
It's the successor to The Shining.
Ooh.
Yeah, sequel to
Even
The
worse.
Shining, huh?
What?
Stephen King said, I will never write a sequel to It because it scares me too much. Scary Clown scares even Stephen King. Yeah. But Shining apparently does not. So this is coming out in September 24th. You could get it for free the day it comes out on Audible.com. They're reading it right now. They're recording it right now, so it'll be out day and date. It's one of the things I love about Audible. Visit Audible.com. You can look at all the new fall fiction and pre-order it so you can get it the day it comes out if you're a big Stephen King or Nora Roberts or new Simon Winchester's out. I love his stuff. This one's called The Men Who United the States, America's Explorers, Inventors, Eccentrics, and Mavericks. A book about Salinger by David Shields. David Baldacci's newest, King and Maxwell. Everybody's raving about the Bone season. I haven't read it yet. People are going crazy. That just came out. Samantha Shannon.
I have like 6 credits I need to use.
Yeah, this is supposed to be really good. Let me read you what it's about. 21-year-old British author. She's a new author. Samantha Shannon has been generating a lot of buzz for her debut novel, The Bone Season, Book 1, a 7-book series. A lot of comparisons between J.K. Rowling. The year is 2059.
Who knows? It might be J.K. Rowling.
It might be. She's got many pseudonyms. Paige Mahoney is a clairvoyant living in a dystopian London. Sold. Who needs to know more? That's all I need to know. Anyway, here's the deal. If you go to audible.com/twit and the number 2, all one word, audible.com/twit2, you'll be signing up for the Platinum. That's 2 credits a month. You see, I have 2 available. That's the one I use. And you can, first 30 days are free. So you can get 2 books, choose from 150,000 titles. Cancel the first 30 days, you'll pay nothing, but those books are yours always to keep. There's so many wonderful things. But I am going to, right now, Ryan, just because of you, I'm going to get, what is it called again?
Paradox of Choice.
Paradox of Choice.
It's really good. Highly recommend it.
See, this is good. This is one of the things I love about Audible. People who use Audible are always saying, oh, what did you read lately? And you're exchanging all this. So I'm going to add this to my cart right there, and I'm going to get it for free. You can too. Audible.com/twit2. Give Audible a try. I know you're going to love it. See? $0. Love that. 6 credits?
Yeah. Been adding up.
When you pick books for Sword and Laser, you often look and see if almost always there's Audible, right?
Our August pick, was it August? Yeah, it was Curse of Chalion by Lois McMaster Bujold, and that was available on Audible. So that's how I listened or read that book.
Yeah, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to keep up with Sword and Laser. I mean, that's a lot of reading.
Well, because I've got that, and then I've got the other book club. So I have like 3 books a month that I have to read.
Holy cow.
So
You must like to read. How do you have time to watch Orange is the New Black?
Right before bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you speed it up or do you listen to it in?
I have. Usually I'll do. I can do 1.25
Really?
speed X. Yeah, and it's not so bad. It takes some getting used to.
The Audible app will do that.
And it'll fix the voice. So it's
Nope.
It
It doesn't really modulate
So it gets
it.
higher pitched, you mean?
Oh
They'll
no!
fix it,
I think it
They
does modulate it. Yeah.
But they can't fix it.
I've never actually thought
you
about
get,
that.
They can do
you
it
get too
perfectly, but
fast.
they'll get close.
So this is the book I'm listening to, which is like 800 hours. It's finally almost over. Only 5 hours left. But okay, that's at 1x. So I can go all the way up to 3x.
Clouds building again. Harris said for the passenger seat next. It's what
But his
That's
voice,
speed listening,
his
huh?
voice is
the same.
it's
They
not
You're
do
like
right.
that.
Totally right.
They're using
I never noticed
pitch
that
shifting.
before. I never. Yeah.
That's probably too fast. You say 125?
She took a quick glance up at the top of the windscreen.
Yeah, that's
where the
fine.
condensation smeared
And over the
shifted.
course of that whole book, you're going to save a lot of
Yeah, it saves you a
This
couple
was
hours.
a 36-hour book. That would have been a big savings.
I use the Whisper Sync a lot.
Isn't that
as
great?
well.
You can read it on the Kindle and then jump to the audio portion where you left off.
Kind of wish that you would just get the Kindle version for free.
I know.
Well, I mean, it depends
cheap.
on which one you
They
paid
give
for.
you a discount,
Yeah,
don't
you
they?
get
Yeah.
it for like $3.99
Yeah.
instead of like $9.99. But
That's a good way to do it. Then you can read when you want to read, listen
Yeah.
when you want to listen. IAS talks at 1.25 speed. I think you're right. If you listen to Know How, that's how fast. Hey, by the way, before we get to the iPhone discussion, let's Let's get Tom Merritt on here. You know him, right?
I do. I know Tom Merritt.
Let's see what's coming up in the week ahead.
Hey, thanks, Leo. Here's some of the stories we'll be keeping an eye on in the week ahead on Tech News Today. Monday, August 26th, VM World kicks off in San Francisco. Wednesday, August 28th, the new Nexus 7 heads to the UK for £199. Thursday, August 29th, SimCity for the Mac finally arrives, probably with less drama than when it came to Windows. Friday, August 30th, the BlackBerry Q10 hits Sprint, and DragonCon kicks off. And Saturday, August 31st, Sphero 2.0 arrives in stores, and it's the last day to renew or buy a TechNet subscription from Microsoft. That's a look at the week ahead. Back to you, Leo.
Microsoft phasing that out because people will use it to pirate copies of Windows. That's how I used it anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
DragonCon.
Are you excited? Are you going?
Yes, of course.
Is it Atlanta again?
Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta?
Hot Atlanta.
Is the parade the best part?
I usually actually skip the parade.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you going to cosplay?
Not this year.
You've done that in the past?
I have.
Who do you dress up as?
I was a demon hunter from Diablo 3 last year.
Nice. Why don't you just reuse it? You go
Because it's really hot there, and I don't have
Atlanta
the stamina
in August. What a time.
to walk around in that costume.
I can only think they got the hall cheap.
Plus, you have to ship it, and you have to check it and luggage, and it's kind of annoying.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like to explain what this Demon Hunter outfit is for?
What the demon hunter outfit is for?
No, I'm just saying TSA is not going to...
Oh, yes.
Not a good thing.
Well, the crossbow will be difficult to explain.
Tough.
That might be a problem.
Got stopped by the TSA.
How many people are here for VMware? See, this is why we have a big audience today. A lot of geeks.
Ooh.
Welcome. Nice to have you. There was a guy had a T-shirt that said, back the F up, I think from last year's.
That's awesome.
F backslash.
Of course, yeah.
That's from last year's VMware. All right, so the rumors are, oh gosh, they're just really flying fast and furious about new iPhones. September 10th, we all agree that's good. Do you still have sources in this kind of area from Gadget?
I can neither confirm or deny.
Oh, I like it. I like it. That sounds like he knows some. I can't confirm or deny that either. I know nothing.
I can also not confirm.
Apparently,
or deny.
the invitations that Apple sends out, apparently, if you get one, they are asking you not to share it. As I heard that from somebody.
That's the new thing?
Somebody's told me that. Yeah.
Wait a minute. They've never done that before. Usually the invitations go out 1 week before the event. So they're now sending them out earlier and telling people,
I don't know if
is
they're
that
sending
what
them
you're
out
trying to
earlier.
confirm or deny?
I can neither confirm or deny.
Oh, that's very interesting.
I don't know. I don't think that they're doing anything in terms of sending them out earlier, though. I think that they send them out. They always send them out about a week before.
Okay, so you haven't.
They're usually pretty consistent.
You're not
with that.
confirming or denying that.
I can neither confirm or deny. I haven't.
That's interesting.
I don't know of an event.
If they had already sent them out, we wouldn't know if that's the case.
Yeah, they're very consistent.
Well, I just hope that
it's usually 1 week before.
I hope that Ryan goes because he's my favorite live blogger of Apple events.
Shucks.
Now,
Will you still do it?
But if he was hired by the,
I'm doing it at Engadget now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, of course. Because I will say, like, I do enjoy. I like the engine that The Verge has for live blogging, but Ryan Block here specifically, he trumps the engine.
Does
that
he get
The Verge
snarky?
I get a little snarky.
A little snarky.
But I think if they follow
Yeah.
suit to what they did last time, they'll stream the whole event.
I hope so. So yeah, we'll do the same thing. If it's September 10th, and I think it is, we'll be doing the same thing from our studio,
And you have like
covering
a
the stream.
puppet Tim Cook, right?
We did that once. I don't know if we'll do
people
it.
didn't like
Brian
it?
Hogg. No, I liked it. I don't care what anybody else said. I liked it. I don't know if we'll do it again. You know, I like to mix it up.
So there's gonna be two
We
Apple
did the puppet
announcements,
because
right?
they weren't doing a live stream. We don't need a puppet if they do a live stream. We were reenacting it.
Give a puppet for context.
Live reenactment.
We were reenacting it.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
Tim Cook would come out, and puppet Tim Cook would come out. Tim Cook would stick his hand in his pants. Puppet Tim Cook would stick his hand in his pants. That kind of thing. No, his pocket. Jeez Louise. So September 10th, that's probably the case. Too many people have said so. Here's the thing that surprises me. The same sources are saying 2 phones, 5S and 5C, 5C plastic back and colors. The 5S, this is the thing that surprised me, in black, white, and gold.
Champagne.
Well, it might-
Champagne.
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 There's some pretty good mock-up photos. Maybe some real
Yeah.
ones.
They might-
They look really
It might,
good.
it,
I
might
like
not,
it.
it might not only be in those 3, though. Remember,
Gold is in again.
it's especially in China, it's like huge,
China and
huge,
India,
huge, huge,
yeah.
huge there. But it might not only be those 3. It would be a little awkward to me if the third leg that they added to that stool was gold.
It's a
and
little
nothing
weird.
else.
It's a little weird.
Right, but they could potentially do more colors. They probably do red because they always partner with red. So there might be more.
But
than
you're
just
thinking of the 5C, the color one. This would be for
no.
the
I'm
high
talking
end.
about the 5S.
You
So
think they're
there'd
going
be
to do
two in
more
color.
colors than just 3?
Than just black, white. Well, technically,
And
it's like
champagne.
slate and silver and
Champagne.
Yeah.
I poo-pooed it. I thought, oh, that's tacky. That's Paris Hilton. That's
But then you saw
Kim
the actual,
Kardashian.
the good mock-up,
And then
right?
then I realized I wanted it.
Yeah.
So I think, actually, it's for me, actually.
I would not kick it out of bed. Yeah, it's a good looking,
like it.
good looking iPhone.
And, it has an advantage, which is people know you got the new iPhone. This is a problem with the S. Well, no, okay, I'm not.
You can flaunt your riches.
The problem with S is it looks exactly like the one before it. 3GS looks like the 3G.
Yeah.
The 4S looks just like a 4. Nobody knows you've got the new thing. So I think it's smart. Make it champagne, and then people will look at me with envy and awe. That's why people do that, right? The other thing that I also poo-pooed, but now I'm thinking, because everybody seems to agree, is thumbprint or fingerprint in the home button.
Oh, you're excited about that, though, aren't
Very
you?
excited.
Tell us
well,
why.
maybe not necessarily in the home button, but anywhere. If it was anywhere.
It'd be sensible to put it right there. In fact, Renee Ritchie, who's got good sources at iMore, and John Pachkowski at All Things D, both say a depressed sapphire-coated button in the home button.
So you want to know why? Hit the home button.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you got a bunch of stuff up there, but if you slide to unlock it.
Well, this is your phone, not mine. Right?
Yeah. And
See, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I don't want to
just
do that
this. What if I, instead of even seeing all that, what if when I hit the home button, it just unlocks? It says, oh, I see it's you, Ryan.
Yep.
I like that. I think for thievery, it's good. I mean, not good, but it's good for you against thieves.
The best idea I heard about anti-theft was today from Ryan as well, that you should have to enter a code to turn the phone off.
So that way you can still track
So
it.
if someone steals it, they can't turn it off.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Because that's the first thing a
I'm gonna
bad guy
sell that
does.
idea to Apple.
They may already have had it. That might be maybe part of the deal.
Apple, hire me, please.
Please.
Immediately.
And then the only concern was, what if you need to hard reset it because it freezes, but then you reset it and it turns back on
Yeah, you
again.
just reset it and
Right.
then you're back to the password again.
I think that's a really good idea.
The other advantage, of course, is that passports suddenly could be
Oh,
useful.
but then chat room saying the battery. Pull the battery.
How do you pull the battery in the
How do you pull the
iPhone?
Yeah,
battery?
it's an enclosed device.
That's
Yeah,
the
chat room.
beauty
How do you
of
pull the battery?
Yeah, chat room.
Yeah, and now they're going to link to the iFixit page. Guess what? Thieves are not that smart.
They're not
They
that
stole a
smart.
phone from somebody. They're idiots.
Also, the clock is ticking.
Yes.
So they don't want to mess around with it. In fact, I've told
they're
that
trying to
when,
sell the thing.
when they steal a phone, the very first thing they do is turn off an iPhone because they're not stupid enough to think that people aren't going to come after them with Find My iPhone. So they turn it off right away. And the iPhone will just know where it was.
Ooh,
not where
unplug it and let
is.
the battery die on its own.
Well, that's right, but that's enough time for you to chase them down.
True. Hopefully, if you're charged.
So do we all agree that fingerprint is a good idea and is
It is a very good idea.
probably what's going to happen?
Very
Right?
good idea.
yeah.
And imagine what you could do with that in, say, your email app. If there was an API from the fingerprint
PGP?
sensor
Let's have
into...
some-
But then
Right.
how am I going to read all your text messages if I need a thumbprint to get in?
Exactly. It's the wife
What?
thing. It's the
Well,
anti-wife
there's always going to be
thing.
two options. There's going to be a code or a thumbprint.
Right.
And
Or
I think
both.
I think both
But I
would
know
always
the
be available.
code. I can't copy the thumbprint unless I cut off his thumb.
Exactly.
Veronica, you've seen many
Exactly.
spy movies. Okay, look, and my thumbprints are all over the place. You just
I can
dust
lift
it a little
them,
bit.
do a little
lift
tape,
it up on
put
the
the tape on the
Bold.
thing.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
you have to simulate the blood flow behind the thumb.
Mythbusters
Mm-hmm.
did this. Yeah, it's still
Yeah, okay. I want to say something about Mythbusters. I love those guys. It's great. It's a TV show. It's not science, okay?
It is science.
No, it's
What are
not.
you talking about?
It's an entertainment,
Whoa.
dear.
Whoa.
Imagine if
Whoa. Whoa there.
Because people always say, "Oh no, the Mythbusters refuted that." Yeah, on a TV show. It's not like scientific
So
refutation.
to be fair, actually, Mythbusters and a recent episode that I did of Fact or Fictional, we both did Breaking Bad, and we both had different scientists with different results on one of the things.
Were you making blue meth?
are you trying to not to do a spoiler? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, it's not really a spoiler. It's just the
Were you seeing if you could make blue meth?
the mercury,
Because I'd
the
like.
fulminated mercury.
Fulminate. Yeah.
Yeah, the
no, you
fulminated
couldn't- you couldn't do
mercury.
that. It'll blow up in his pocket.
So the different.
No, it wouldn't blow
different-
up in his pocket. You just couldn't create a large enough charge.
We had different
with a small
findings. So
amount.
yeah, sometimes it's science,
Science.
but different scientists find
we
different
have a third
findings
result.
sometimes. So to get different results. So, but I still love Mythbusters, and they're
With
totally
all
science.
due respect, if it's on Discovery, it's an entertainment product.
Oh, whoa, whoa!
It has to be, dear. It's all about ratings, isn't it?
But there's still real science and stuff on Discovery. Why? I'm biased because
if you do a lot of science,
company.
if you do a lot of science, that's a real turnoff to people. To people, they don't want to watch science.
MythBusters is getting people into science.
Yeah, in a sciencey kind of way.
In a sciencey kind of way. You guys with me? They do science, right?
No,
MythBusters
they don't
does
do science. They do.
One dude is shaking his head
Look
voraciously, and I have no idea why he would do that.
They don't even repeat the experiment. They do it once. If MythBusters, so anyway, MythBusters said they took Play-Doh or something and did fingerprint reading. Yeah, I notice you're very smart. You're not getting in this conversation.
No, I'm not touching this, especially because
smart guy.
I already know what next week looks like, and you're going to be doing your show, and the MythBusters, because they live within an hour of here, are probably going to walk in. They're going to walk in right behind you.
I love them. No, I love Adam. I think they're great. I've worked with them, and I'm not saying anything against them. I think they would probably even agree. It's not scientific method. It's a television show.
I think they strongly believe in their own scientific method.
I did a shoot with them where they weren't having to follow the MythBusters rules, and they were all excited because they got to just go have fun and blow stuff up. And they said normally we just have to do so much science.
They're rigorous.
Really boring.
All right.
And so the shoot that we did didn't involve science.
Okay.
And so they said, wow, this is like MythBusters light when they don't do the science.
I take it back. If they really are paying a lot of attention.
So
when they did Play-Doh
thumbprints, go back and
thumbprints,
redo stuff
that's
too.
the definitive study. We now know that thumbprint reading is just never going to work, right? Yeah.
Science equals peer review is the card that's being held up.
Yeah, there's no peer review.
There is. They have forums, and if the people in the forums say that they did something wrong, they go back and redo it. Okay, I know it's among other scientists.
Actually, but
it's the honey boo-boo of science.
You're the honey boo-boo of science.
Whoa. There is peer review, though, because they put it out to an audience of millions of people who could potentially replicate it. That is the definition.
I know. There's a lot of
Kinda
people
the
out there
ultimate
saying,
peer
let's
review.
see if this really worked, and they're doing it in their homes.
How did we get on this topic?
No, I'm just saying that
Great question.
Well, because every time I bring up fingerprints, people say, oh, no, the MythBusters proved that it's not reliable or something. And I don't think that means anything.
I just got like a +11115.
I know. That's scientific, too.
Yeah, that's peer review right there.
Right there.
Thank you.
All right, I take it all back.
What do you think of the...
Adam, I'm sorry. I never say that again.
What do you think of the cheap iPhone? I think it's a smart move.
I don't think it's cheap. That's the interesting,
inexpensive.
Newest part of the story is it's in fact not a cheap iPhone. It's
I don't think it will be cheap. I don't think it will be inexpensive enough to help Apple penetrate developing markets, developing nations.
So why are they doing
Then
it?
what's the point? Yeah.
I actually don't know yet.
It has to be their goal.
I think we got to find out.
Right.
I think that they want to offer something in the same vein as the 5, but maybe so get more people to the 5 form factor, so taller screen. But not have it be as expensive as the 5.
Right.
So maybe it will sit alongside the 4S, right? Because every year they take last year's model and they make that the free one. So there's a free, a 99, and a 199.
That's another rumor is that they're going to discontinue all of this. They'll have just the 2 current models. They'll stop having the old models.
I think that this is working really well for them, though.
It does, yeah.
It is working really well for them.
You see a lot of people
possible.
with new 4Ss because of that.
It's possible they can do it, and if they did do it, I wouldn't be surprised because I'm never surprised when they do anything. They like to throw curveballs. But I think what the system they've got is working, and if they can find a place in that lineup for a 5-esque device that does not cost as much.
Will they call it the 5-esque?
The 5-esque, yes.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
The SQ.
Yes.
It's not for developing world, it's for...
I don't think so. No,
Mom.
Because I mean, at that point, it literally has to be, if you're going to sell it, to rural India or, sub-Saharan Africa, it literally has to be a $20 device.
Right.
There are only a handful of companies who can make phones that cheap.
Yeah.
And they're
all
dumbest,
Nokia.
the dumbest of dumb phones, right? They do nothing effectively. So Apple is not there yet. This phone is not the answer to that. It will just be a cheaper iPhone.
Okay.
I still think that they're trying to adopt more iOS users, and they think it's a gateway for somebody. Maybe it's not. Maybe the mass market is the $20 phone market, and they're hitting it wrong. But they have to be shooting for to get into a market that they're not in. That's
Somebody in the chat
reason.
room is making a good point. The 4S does not support LTE.
Yeah,
so carriers want all LTE. So this is really what
that's
this
what I'm saying.
is.
This could
the
be
LTE.
This could be a platform to get to kind of
get rid of
skip
all those.
a couple of the back generations.
That makes sense.
Yes.
It's an LTE cheaper phone.
Well, it's also the taller screen too, which is important.
And it's lightning. They've got to get rid of 30 pin.
Yep.
So that's, you know what? That makes sense. Now, does that make sense? That makes sense.
Yeah.
We've got to move people a little faster forward because we got to have LTE. We got to have lightning. We've got to have the new aspect.
So it's in some ways it's
That
a
makes
bridge.
sense.
It's a bridge product.
Bridge phone. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Or it could be.
iOS 7. A lot of people are saying this is going to be the real surprise. Now, I know some people at this table have used iOS 7.
I mean, what's the surprise?
Right. I mean, we've seen
Surprise!
7.
It's totally different.
We've seen 7 betas. By now, we have a pretty good idea of what it is.
From what you're used to.
But a number of people said, with the physics particle engine and some of the behind-the-scenes stuff going on in iOS 7, you may see a radically better-looking, more powerful OS.
Well, they also programmed it smarter. That'll know what you use more often and then route processing power to the things that you're using.
It could be markedly improved battery life because it's going to gang all of the updates together. For every feature they talk about, fingerprint reading and everything, when I talk to real people, all they really say is just get me through the GD day. If I could just get 16 hours out of my phone,
Right.
That would be the killer feature.
The
Isn't
battery
it?
life.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Just give me a day. Don't make me have to charge it at 7 p.m.
I mean, I love the battery life on this thing. It's
Are you getting good battery life?
pretty good, yeah.
Initially, I got terrible battery life, then I rooted it and I put a bunch of green, sleep stuff on it. But maybe they've got it better.
yeah,
now.
it's been better for me than
the
the
iPhone?
iPhone 5
Yeah.
was personally.
No phone is great yet, except
No.
for things like the Droid Max and things like that, where you get these really ugly phone with a ginormous battery, or a Note, Galaxy Note.
And every year we get incremental increases in battery life, but then we also get different applications and services that then drain that battery a little bit more intensely.
Well, and this is the
So it
challenge
seems to balance out.
you don't have a new. You can't make a bigger battery in this thing because you're not changing the form factor enough. So you've got a new processor, which Clayton Morris tweeted today, and he's got pretty good sources, 31% faster.
Not fast enough.
That's not fast enough.
Not fast enough. I need more speed.
Yeah, only a third faster. Come on, Apple.
on.
If you don't double it every year,
That's sad.
That's
Yeah.
sad.
You got to stay ahead.
It's
of
not even
Moore's
noticeable,
law here.
frankly.
Yeah.
But what if 20-hour battery life? Wouldn't that be like a killer feature?
That's a slam dunk.
And we have doubled. iOS 7 has allowed us, with the same battery, to double the battery life. I could see Tim Cook saying that to a standing ovation, to double the battery life. Wouldn't that be great? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe
Not going to happen.
No, it would be great.
But
It's
it
just
would be
not going to
great.
happen.
It's not going to happen? Okay. We'll take a break, come back with more from Techzilla, the very scientific show on Discovery.
On Discovery Channel.
The science show on the Discovery Channel. Patrick Norton's co-host. And now you were saying that you're going to do the dailies. You're going to fold those into something, or what are you doing?
Yeah, we're just folding that more into the show. We
Main
haven't really
show.
talked about it too much, but yeah, it's just because we want to go more in depth on the dailies and we want to do a lot more cool stuff with Techzilla. So we're taking the resources from the dailies and kind of bringing them
What
back
other
into
cool
the main
stuff
show.
are you gonna do, huh?
I don't know yet. More like out in the field kind of stuff,
Cool,
and more
fun.
like great builds and things
So
like
does
that.
the Discovery acquisition help you kind of expand the show?
It literally has not changed anything.
Doesn't
at all.
change anything?
No, it's all been the same. But it's good.
Well, you don't want it to change it in the bad way. Would you like maybe more resources, more money?
Yeah. I mean, that would be great. It's still pretty new, so we're
Right.
still seeing how it goes. But yeah, I'm only a contractor still, so I'm not even there for
You
the
don't
day
even work for them?
No, I'm a contractor.
Oh, man.
I'm a
Oh,
free
man.
agent.
Oh, man.
Hire me.
Veronica, a wonderful Veronica Belmont, who I would hire in a heartbeat if I just had a way to do it. but I don't have a show for you. Maybe we could do a gaming show.
A gaming show.
Let's
I
think
like
of
the
that.
idea of a gaming show.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
It was that Brushwood guy that really brought it down.
That's not true.
No, I'm just kidding.
He doesn't spike his hair at all
It was
anymore.
LL
He doesn't,
Cool
no,
L.
it looks
no,
good.
He's
I
kind
love
of
his
going
flat hair.
natural. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good look.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's old enough now. He's like 53 years old, you know.
He's like 75 years old
Yeah.
now.
And so it's time.
Yeah.
Kind of grow up a little bit. Also here, Ryan Block. He is now VP Product at AOL, and of course, Editor Emeritus at Engadget, founding editor at Gadget. And great to have you. So will you be you expect to get an invitation from Apple and live blog that? I hope
You
do.
never know.
I hope you do.
You never know.
David Prager and I are
If they
hoping.
do send me an email with the invitation, I will.
Yeah. Mr. Prager has got a new show, which I love, Distort.
Thank you. Yep.
You take stuff and you slow it way down. Mm-hmm. And it's got science.
It does. He does. We'll end up at different universities interviewing like professors of chemistry and physics, and
I think that's
having
fun.
brain scientists on.
Actually.
So it's good. And then it's called Distort because we also want to leave things open to distort other things. So we could do time lapse, or we could do macro.
It doesn't just have to be slowed down. It could be a lot of stuff. It's youtube.com/distort.
Correct.
And I'm just me. I'm not very sciencey at all. So that's how come I don't know any better. I'm just sorry.
People are throwing down on Twitter about you and Mythbusters now.
I told you, Twitter's full of bitches. Stop it. I don't read it anymore. It's just a bitch fest. Isn't it?
No.
No?
No.
You like Twitter?
I love Twitter.
Maybe it's because I call them bitches that they...
That's probably why.
Maybe that's a mistake. You see, I have 2,055 new tweets. I haven't looked in ages.
Look at all those new tweets.
Look at all the new tweets.
Use Tweetbot, though. That's good.
Yeah, what the hell? Leo said Mythbusters isn't science. See, now they're telling Jamie. See, that's what happens.
It's escalated.
That's what happens.
Once again, we've escalated.
That's what happens.
I
They're tattling on me, and now Jamie thinks I'm saying bad stuff, and then all of a sudden...
I'll tweet to Adam, and then we'll just really make a mess.
Man.
I called it, and they are going to come up here.
Good.
I guarantee you.
Good. We've been trying to get him on for a long time.
Oh, I see your game here.
Actually, Kevin Spacey said he would come on Triangulation right before season 2 of House of Cards.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll be
Very
fun.
cool.
Very nice.
Kevin's cool. He's kind of a gadgeteer. Our show today brought to you by Stamps.com. I bet you Kevin Spacey uses Stamps.com. At least he would if he had a lot of mailing to do. He probably doesn't have a lot of mailing. It wouldn't really be good if you just wanted to mail a postcard once in a while. But if you're in the business like you're an Etsy seller or an eBay seller, if your business sends out mailers, flyers, invoices, you shouldn't be going to the post office to buy postage. And you really shouldn't be using a postage meter. Postage meter ink is 100 times more expensive than inkjet ink, which is already 100 times more expensive than blood. So don't... That's science, by the way.
That's science.
I threw that in. So don't be doing the postage meter. Just be doing Stamps.com. It lets you buy and print official U.S. postage with your computer, your printer, no special ink needed. Stamps whenever you need it. You never have to go to the post office. I mean, never, because everything you do at the post office, you can do at Stamps.com. You can print right onto the envelope, so your logo's there, your return address. It'll pull the address of the recipient from your address book, from QuickBooks, from Etsy, Amazon, eBay, PayPal. It could suck that right up. If you're doing international mailing, fills out the forms for you. In fact, we asked people how they're using Stamps.com, and Veronica Lucas, no relation.
No relation.
She has a business called Poppets Pockets. They make reusable cloth items, reusable cloth diapers, that kind of thing. Do a lot of international mailing. She said before she used Stamps.com, it was such a pain for her. She filling out forms, waiting in line whenever she had to ship to Canada. She had a lot of customers in Canada. It was a real pain. She heard us talking about Stamps.com. She actually heard about it on the show. She says shipping to Canada is the reason we started using Stamps.com and the reason we continue to use it every time we ship. The customs forms are simplified. At my door pickup, it's awesome. It's awesome for you too. Here's the deal. You can go to Stamps.com right now and get a very special $110 bonus offer. It includes $55 in free postage coupons. You can use those over the first month or two of your Stamps.com. I think it's like over several months. You also get the really great digital scale. You get a supply kit. Now, here's the key, though. Click the microphone at Stamps.com in the upper right-hand corner and enter our offer code TWIT. The $80 value on the front page turns into that $110 bonus value, including a 4-week free trial of Stamps.com. You got to try it. You're going to love it. Stamps.com. And then the mail carrier comes to you. They pick it up. You never have to go to the post office again. I see people waiting in line at the post office with a postage meter, and I just think, why?
I had to mail something to the Netherlands last week.
You got a lot. It's a lot of stuff, right?
I didn't know what to do. I had to bring it to the post office.
You got to get an
and,
international mailing
do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you have to do that more than a few times a year, you should probably get.
I don't really.
Yeah, that's the thing. Most people, it's not like a big deal. Mark Zuckerberg says, what is he doing? I don't understand it even. He says internet should be easier or something.
Should be
Everybody
easier?
There should be lower barriers to internet access. Whatever
access.
that means.
Well,
Mark says, but 1 in 7 people in the world use Facebook, but there are 4 billion people who lack internet access. Therefore,
more people need to be on Facebook.
They need
QED.
They need $20 smartphones is what they need.
Yeah. On Wednesday, Facebook announced an effort aimed at drastically cutting the cost of basic internet on mobile in developing countries where Facebook needs to find users. There's a little pink video.
Just replace every instance of internet on this post with Facebook, and you have the accurate idea of what Zuckerberg is going for.
Yeah. He does have a coalition of other companies who want to join him with this. Even internet.org. Actually, that's the website, isn't it? We're looking at it right now, internet.org. How do you get that? How do you get that?
How did the guy with tens of billions of dollars
how would you
get a domain name?
If you were really wealthy, how would you get a domain name? How would you do that? So this isn't Project Loon, which is Google's somewhat loony idea, put balloons up in the stratosphere with internet access.
Well, at least that idea is an idea. This is like it's like a mission statement. What are they doing? Right. At least Google has a plan. All right. Well, we're going to try to put some balloons in the atmosphere.
Some people have said, well, at least this is, he's got actual companies helping him here. The immediate goals, according to the New York Times, of the new coalition are to cut the cost of providing mobile internet services to 1% of its current level. Wow, that'd be big cost cutting. Within 5 to 10 years, by improving the efficiency of networks and mobile phone software. If Mark puts a few billion into this for research and development, I can see this could happen. And it's certainly in his interest, as it is. Let's face it, Google's not being completely altruistic. Project Loon is about people using
the
they
internet
all are.
Where
they
all
make some
are.
money.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. This world allows for scenarios where the interests of big internet companies and the interests of users are aligned.
Which is great.
And that's fine.
I don't mind that at all. Facebook is already trying to get its Android mobile app down from its current 12 megabytes a day to 1 megabyte a day. That would be nice. Are you tweeting? Tell Grant and Adam and what?
Brian Brushwood is upset that we called him old.
He's only in his.
I'm trying to explain the joke to him in real time.
This is why I don't like Twitter anymore, because it doesn't have any nuance, right? People tweet this stuff, and you don't hear the smile in my face.
Brushwood, you look great. Don't worry about it.
Brian, you're beautiful, man.
Fine.
I want to just run my fingers through your spiked hair.
He doesn't have the spiked hair anymore.
Even better.
Okay.
So I have to say, the first thing I do is take Facebook off my mobile phone because it is a battery hog. It kills battery life.
You don't have to leave it open.
No, even if you don't leave it open, it's always checking.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So you have to go into. So I even tried this. You go in the app and you say, "Don't ever update, don't ever sync, don't ever refresh, don't ever notify," and it still downloads 12 megabytes a day. It's terrible. So they could fix that. Thank you, Mark. That would be a good start. I'm all for this. Mobile is the future of internet in a lot of these countries. That's for sure. Nokia's involved in this, of course. I don't know. It's not Bill Gates level philanthropy, but it's some. Microsoft's giving free Surface RT tablets to classrooms.
That's cool. That's great.
Yeah, they got to do something with them.
We got a few extras in the warehouse. Would you like them?
Totally.
Actually, RT I think is probably a good thing for the class. We've got Office on it. It's all you need. And they're giving them ad-free Bing, which sounds like a drug of something.
Good.
What's ad-free Bing? Hey, kid, you want some ad-free Bing? That's what the kids are smoking these days is Bing. Bing for Schools is a new ad.
And this is episode 420.
Do you have Grumpy Cat on your desktop?
How did you see that?
Science.
He's my Grumpy Cat.
He's cute. Is it Little Bub or Grumpy Cat?
It's Grumpy Cat.
Okay.
Bing in a bong.
Bing in a bong. Bing for Schools is a new ad-free version of Microsoft Search that includes strict filtering and privacy protections designed for schools. You need to do that. 800,000 students are going to have it. Remember, I think that Microsoft lost a very big buy when LA's school district decided to spend $30 million on iPads. I don't know how they got that one in.
Yeah, I wouldn't have saved them, though.
No.
Remember, $900 million is how much they wrote down on Surface.
Unbelievable.
It wouldn't even begun to take a dent in that, make a dent in that.
Classrooms can earn free tablets for using Bing. Classrooms, teachers, parents, anyone can use the Bing Rewards program to collect credits towards free Surface RT tablets for schools. You get a Surface RT when you reach 30,000 credits. That's the equivalent of about 60 Bing users using the service regularly for a month. So if you get all the parents in a school to use Bing, this is a good marketing idea. The problem is nobody wants to use Bing. Like, really?
This is what it's come to.
Do I have to use Bing?
It's basically Girl Scout cookies for internet service.
Why are you using Bing?
Yeah, but except people actually want Girl Scout cookies.
I want Girl Scout cookies.
Ballmer, it's time.
Do you like the, which ones do you like? Do you like, I
All
like,
of them.
yeah.
Thin Mints?
No,
Thin
that's
Mints are good.
cliche.
No, Thin Mints are the
What are they
best.
called? The tagalongs? Tag.
What are the coconut?
The coconut ones.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
What's that one?
Tag along.
Samoas.
Oh, small.
Well, but it's bad. No, they got different names.
No, they don't.
So like in the East Coast, it's something else.
No.
They're
What's
called
it is in Austin?
It is? It's different?
Caramel Delights in Austin,
Caramel
Texas.
Delights in
That is
Austin.
crazy. I was a Girl Scout and I didn't even know that.
And it's called Samoas in the West Coast, and I don't know where else.
I thought there were Samoas when I was a kid, though, and I was on the East
Yeah,
Coast.
There's different companies that make them,
Oh, okay.
but it's the same.
All right.
It's Caramel Delights
What's
or
the peanut?
Samoas.
What's the peanut butter ones? That's the ones. I like
Tagalongs.
those. Those are good.
Were you a Girl Scout too? Yeah, she knows.
Girl
Where?
Scout. No, that's for the boys.
What do the girls do?
I don't remember.
No,
do we
the
have a
girls
thing?
do the same
No,
thing
we don't
as
do
the
the
boys.
salute.
You don't do a salute? The 3-finger salute?
No.
No? Cub Scouts do the 2-finger salute.
Oh.
Don't ask me. I won't tell you.
We're both like, oh, okay, whatever.
There they are. Okay.
Keep subtracting, Liam.
So one is Samoas and one is Caramel Delights. On the left, Caramel Delights. On the right, Samoas. There's a slight difference. Samoas have chocolate.
I ate so many Samoas one time, I threw up, and that was like last year.
That must have been pretty.
That was like recently.
Last year, really?
Yeah.
You went on a Samoa
You don't
binge?
remember that, honey?
No, I don't remember that.
And he's still married.
Are you sure? Are you sure that wasn't at work or something?
It was
Rev
not at
3?
work. No, it was. I ate them all during the day, and then like 2 hours later, I was like,
Did you really? You got sick?
yeah, I got really sick. And
How many Samoas
it
did you
may
have
have
to
been
eat?
here. No, it was.
It might have been. We
cracking
often ply our guests with Girl Scout cookies.
I can't remember where I got the Girl Scout cookies
only.
from, but it was intense.
He ate the whole
I don't recommend binging on Girl
It
Scout
was
cookies.
intense?
It was intense because they're Girl Scouts. But intense,
They
Like you're camping. Yeah, I get it.
like because you're camping.
Oh, intense.
It's just a bad joke.
All right,
didn't even
it's
get
enough
it.
wine
All
for
right,
me.
pull it together, people. We got a show to
Sorry,
do.
Leo. I love a pun.
Let's take a break. What do you say? And see what you missed. I know you're enjoying this show, but if you happen to have tuned in earlier, this is what you might have missed.
Previously on Twit. This week in YouTube.
Do you think that this is worrying people at YouTube that gamers are the ones who are rising? I mean, we've seen.
Oh!
Put that.
I didn't even put that kind of stuff on this network.
That's why he has 12 million subscribers.
Twit live specials.
A couple people in the chat room have wondered if Ballmer is going to stay around at Microsoft in any capacity.
When I talked to him, he said, I haven't had time to even think about what I want to do.
But using his own words against him, he said this has been going on for years. Are we suggesting that he hasn't thought about this at all? I mean, who doesn't think about the future and about how things might change and what that future might look like for them?
This week in Google.
Vogue did an article on Marissa Mayer. They did a great looking picture of her in a designer dress. And people say, oh, it overshadows the story. And I don't think so.
It's a unicorn thing. It's like you're just not used to seeing young female CEOs like in the position that she's in.
Which, by the way, I recreated on Twitter myself because I have that couch, and that is a really tough
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Annie Sullivan doing
this picture of your cat.
Oh, with Lucy.
That is the weirdest. What's wrong with her
Lucy.
eyes?
She was high.
That is scary.
Has your cat
Bye-bye,
ever done
kitty
that?
cat.
Glazed over? She was staring at the wall.
Yeah, our cat Devo does that
Yeah.
a lot. That was a really funny picture.
Of the
Danny
kitty?
Sullivan did.
Oh, Danny Sullivan.
Yeah.
That's real journalism.
I just can't believe I
He
have
went
that
out there,
couch
he said,
too.
I have
Yeah,
that
I
couch.
know.
Who
Let
wouldn't
me-
have tried to
let me
recreate that if they
try
had that
to-
couch?
Absolutely.
It doesn't look like a comfortable position she's in. I liked the profile very much in Vogue. Actually, I just read it, and I also read the Business Insider article that Nicholas Carlson did was amazing.
She's
it's long,
very
but I highly
impressive.
recommend reading it because it was just.
What did he
fantastic.
say about?
I mean, it was just it was a lot of like first person accounts of her kind of rise to CEO of Yahoo, and it goes back and forth between, a lot of people think she's a very cold, very kind of calculating person. She's very shy, but a lot of people say that when, she's very good at her job, and she's not a cold, I can't
She's
remember
an
what the word
introvert
like
is what
ice
she
princess.
is. She's not an ice princess. It's funny. I've met her, and she's shy.
Yeah.
She's shy. She kind of doesn't, doesn't know really what to say. And you expect somebody, there's a new biography, which I don't know if I'll read, the unauthorized biography. Is that what he was talking about? Or, yeah, it is. Nicholas Carlson and Business Insider.
Yeah, it's great.
I think people don't expect a CEO to be an introvert. And I think she is a little shy.
Once you get her talking, though, especially about stuff she's passionate about, which is usually the consumer-facing side of things, the customer experience. I think that's really where she shines, and that's why people were worried about, promoting her to CEO of Yahoo or bringing her in as CEO, because they wanted someone who was very ingrained in the corporate mythos, who kind of knew how to run a business from that point of view, from the business point of things, which she kind of stayed out of at Google. So now she always kind of paid more attention to the experience for users. So I think
that's how I would take that any day. I would take somebody who's quiet and cares deeply about the user experience over Monkey Boy, who doesn't care at all about.
Well, that's why the board was so divided on that decision, because half of the board really wanted someone like her to come in and kind of shake things up, and the other half was not interested in that kind of CEO.
Yeah, it was Dan Loeb, who is really a contrarian and an activist investor, who said, got to get somebody good in here.
Right.
And, I think while it's too early to say she's succeeded, it looks good. Yahoo, for the first time this month, beat Google in the number of impressions. First time in 7 years that they've done that.
It no longer seems impossible that they might succeed.
Yeah. And I don't know about you. Maybe it's because I'm an old timer, but I'm rooting for them. I want them to succeed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mostly because no great internet brand like that has ever come back from the edge.
It's tough.
It's never happened before.
And the thing is, it's so hard for Yahoo in a day where it's so easy for Facebook and Google to kind of poach really talented, product people and engineers and developers. And she's kind of making the corporate culture exciting enough that people want to stay now. She's becoming I don't want to say she's becoming their Steve Jobs, but from everything that I've read, she's kind of starting to get that excitement within the corporation, within the young people who are working there. They're really excited about her as CEO, and I think that can only lead to good things.
It is exciting. Now, this is behind the scenes, but you fist bumped me when we were talking about the picture of her dressed in this beautiful designer gown, and I said, I think that's fine.
If that had been a male CEO being profiled for Vogue, and if he was wearing a great outfit, and if he was, sitting on a couch, I don't think anyone would have said anything. I don't.
Well, and why should we say that women have to be just like guys?
No, I mean, she cares about fashion. She
loves
cares
that.
about.
So what?
She gives to charity. She helps a lot of young entrepreneurs. She's great at her job. I don't think people should get their panties in a bunch over it.
She says, I'm not a feminist. But you know what? She's from a generation that is post-feminist. Your generation, really.
Well, what I loved about that profile especially was, there was she got a lot of hell about, requiring Yahoo employees to come in, and not work remotely.
Right. Which was seen as kind of a slap to work at home.
Especially considering she was a new mother, and she had the capabilities and resources to have a full-time nanny and to have all those resources available to her 24/7. But she just was like, I just want Yahoo to do better, and people do better when they're here in the office. And so when you kind of break it down, she's looking at those reasons. She's not really thinking about the other reasons, which may or may not be a good thing at the end of the day, but it kind of lets you see what her point of view is.
I think it was mishandled. It probably could have been done more privately. But as a company owner, I really like to see employees in there. There's a synergy that happens when employees are talking to one another. A lot of our people are, like Tom, work out of their home in LA, and that's something we have to put up with. I would far prefer to have them in studio, but just because there's a synergy that happens when people are all together. But the nature of this business and the fact that we're in the middle of nowhere requires that many of our people are, in fact, not in the same studio. But I'm a little sympathetic. I understand why she would want everybody.
I also have a total girl crush on her, so whatever.
I do,
Don't
too.
listen to me.
I have a girl
love her.
crush on
I think
her.
she's great.
Yeah. She's powerful. She's 37 and running one of the biggest 38, running one of the biggest internet companies out there. Good on her. And she looks great in Manolos or whatever she was wearing. With those Louboutins?
She's an Oscar de la Renta girl.
Oscar de la Renta.
She owns the Oscar de la Renta cardigan in like 7 different colors.
Is it La Bourtin?
I don't really know how to say it.
I think it is.
La Bouton. La Bouton.
La
Bouton. Let's do the internet pronounce guide.
Louboutin. Louboutin.
Louboutin.
Louboutin.
Yeah.
Christian Louboutin. All right, enough of that. That's all the men who are watching are going, is he having a seizure? Yahoo is the #1 web property for the first time since May 2011, so it wasn't 7 years, but still. And it may be meaningless. I mean, these numbers go up and down. Maybe it was summertime, so Google searches were down or whatever.
Well, it certainly didn't help that you took down Google, Leo.
I brought Google down, and this is ComScore. Now, I don't know, does ComScore matter? Is this considered reliable?
I think for this kind of a metric, it is reliable. I think in most cases, ComScore is not reliable because it uses a sampling-based metrics collection, which means that they're not really looking. That is not an actual number of visitors. That is what they believe the number of visitors to be. And usually, I mean, I've seen variation of 10 to 20x in terms of what it actually is in reality.
Well, yeah, because you've seen actual numbers from sites and compared to what ComScore is saying.
Yep.
This does not include Tumblr, which is number 38 on the list, or something like that. So if you add 28. So if you add Tumblr's 38 million uniques, then they're pretty strong. And it shows you the strength of the Tumblr acquisition. That adds another third or something to the total.
It's interesting that O'Malley from GigaOM wrote this scathing article saying like they've got these numbers of web hits via ComScore, but if you look at like their digital ad spend, that the money coming in, it's gone down 3.37%. It's got like all of their mobile is gone way down, even though they want to focus on it, and it's on and on and on. But he just tries talking about other numbers that they're not performing in, and how many people aren't using them for search. Obviously, how many people aren't using them.
It's a time-honored tradition. When the numbers are good in one area, you point people to that area and say, don't pay no attention to those other numbers.
Well, especially when you're a public company.
Yeah, but good on Ohm for pointing out there's more to it than that. Facebook's turned around the mobile numbers. Facebook showed that mobile they're succeeding in mobile.
Major area of growth for them.
And that's important. So Yahoo has to show, everybody has to show that. Engadget has to show that. Mobile is where people are getting online now.
That's true.
And it's hard to monetize because ads are different in the mobile space.
And the technology is a little more primitive.
Yeah.
Not the mobile technology, but the ad technology is a little more primitive.
Well, and we don't even know if banner ads work in a tiny screen like that. I don't know what the
sometimes they do. It's messy.
That's what
still very early.
That's where there's going to be so much growth in. Is everyone's going to be? I mean, more and more.
That's not growth. That's You're all right.
I'm okay.
You're okay. I just spilled my water on my laptop. Don't mind that. This is a little test of the new Haswell chipset. The new water-resistant chipset. You know, I do that periodically just to see.
just to keep the guests on their toes.
Just to keep the guests on their toes.
But anyways, it's mobile ads. Mobile ads is where there's going to be billions of dollars made, and because that's where they've got so many eyeballs and so much opportunity to figure out how to do it right.
Internet, this Facebook Internet Outdoor Org initiative is all about mobile, right? It's not even, if you're going to get these 4 billion people online, they're not going to be sitting at a desktop computer.
Right. Absolutely.
They're going to be doing it on mobile. So if you want to participate in the future, you better make mobile work. Just mop it into my lap. I like a little feeling of moisture down below. It's okay. I'm wearing Depends. It soaks it right up. No problem at all. Astronaut diapers.
Got all the towels.
Hey, you know what? You do long shows here, and you do not get up.
Really long shows.
It would not surprise me.
I do.
The secret revealed.
Yes. Yeah, I just need a catheter.
If you ever wondered how, that should be on your fact.
Again, you try.
How does Leo do 4 hours at a time? All right, now that I've moistened the ads, let me get them back because I do want to mention
I still got water on my
fine advertiser. Where'd they go? Are you drying out the ads?
No, they
I think they took the ads to dry them out.
Run, Chad, run!
Thank you very much.
Think of the sponsors.
This just in.
He did. He took. Do we have a hairdryer or some sort of ad drying utility? Dry copy. Oh, dry copy. Look at that. See, I told you we have like 3 people in continuity, and now you know why.
Redundancy is
In
great.
case an ad gets moistened.
This is a professional operation.
Can Mr. Laporte have a dry ad, please? Thank you. Our show today brought to you by GoToMeeting from Citrix. The people we work with these days, we're just talking about this, are not in the office. They're on the go. They're traveling. They're all over the place. Clients, you can't make clients come in for a client presentation. So to work efficiently, to keep that strong connection with your team, you got to get some way of meeting that's like face-to-face, as good as face-to-face. And we actually use GoToMeeting for all of our meetings. Even if it's just going to be a phone call, we set up the GoToMeeting. It's very easy to do. It's a click of the mouse. Send them the link. That way we can have a phone bridge as part of the GoToMeeting service. But if I want to show them a screen, a PowerPoint presentation, if we want to collaborate, if I just want to see their face, because there's built-in HD Faces video conferencing now too, it makes such a difference. It is the way to meet online, to be on the same page, literally, to see each other face-to-face. Meetings are so important. I know teams that actually run GoToMeeting all day so that they can collaborate, and it's like they're in the same room. One of the nice things about GoToMeeting is that one flat rate gives you unlimited meetings as often as you want, as long as you want. I want you to try it free for 30 days. You get it on your Mac, on your PC. They've got free apps for all the mobile platforms. You can even present from an iPad. You could be sitting at the pool and just show yourself from the neck up. No one will know.
No pants.
I'm not wearing any pants right now, thanks to GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting.com.
Not a joke.
That's why I don't mind when the water goes flying. GoToMeeting.com, click the try it free button, use the promo code TWIT. Remember to use the promo code TWITS for that 30-day free trial, and we'll get credit. GoToMeeting.com. Credit to Apple. This machine is still working. I really poured water.
I thought it was pretty bad when I saw it.
Honestly, I thought that computer was done. I thought it was done. I thought we were going to see it blink out.
This is the Haswell one and everything.
You're going to have to dry that off with some rice later.
Rice? Does that really work, the rice thing?
It does, really does work.
I think if I just do this and let the water drip out.
Leo, I have another idea. Find like a benchmarking tool and just really heat it up.
Oh,
Want some crisis on there?
If there's a little sizzling going on. Well, now I don't know what's next on the show, so if you want to pick at a story, you've got the rundowns in front of you. My computer's drying out. We got a few more minutes.
What do you think about Samsung Galaxy Gear?
Inmates are taking over the prison.
Okay, so I have a Mega. I have it in. Actually, I think it's in the car. I actually brought all my phones with me in the car because I'm thinking about buying a house, and I want to see if I can get AT&T or Verizon or T-Mobile or Sprint. Who's better out there? Do you do that? Sure you do. You wouldn't move to a house without first checking to see if you can get broadband.
Well, we have
I think we take it for granted too because we live in
the city.
We live in the city. Yeah.
You get out here. You got sheep and goats, but you may not have Wi-Fi.
There's huge cross sections of San Francisco that get no service. I don't understand.
Really?
Oh yeah.
We don't get AT&T in our house.
If you go down 16th Street in Mission and you go into any of those establishments, it just doesn't work.
That's really true. Walking down the street, it's fine, but the second you go into any of the restaurants on Valencia,
AT&T sucks. Can I just say that? I just don't like
No,
them.
I just think they all suck.
They all suck in different places. Yeah. Depends on where you are.
I could just go so bad.
You guys,
it could go so
you
wrong
got
here.
me. I just said a
I'm
thing.
just going to stop talking.
Usually I say these things on purpose.
Show title.
It's not even.
Wow.
I got the gear 6.6 inches.
Sorry.
6.6 inches. It's really big, but then I got a Galaxy Note 8 and put a T-Mobile SIM, and it's like I want a big phone. This big.
You might be overselling it a little bit, Leo.
Okay.
How big is the screen in that Tesla? It's like 17 inches.
You take a 17-inch computer and put it sideways.
See, I actually don't like that. That bothers me a little bit.
What? Why?
It looks oversized, and then you get really used to it. And anything else you're in, you're like, why is it so small?
Right. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm actually kind of excited about the
watch?
Samsung Galaxy Gear. Well, I'm excited about all the potential wearable technology.
Me too.
But I'm more
you're
curious to see.
You and I are athletes.
Yes.
Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
Runners, we're out there. We're doing pole vaulting, shot putting, discus throwing, and we want to measure heart rate, blood pressure, VO2 max, all of that.
I've been
stuff.
wearing my Fitbit for like 2.5 years, like
Since
nonstop. Yeah, pretty much since they came out, and I've never gotten into. I do, yeah, every single day.
Have you upgraded to newer devices?
I'm on the One now. Yeah, I tried the Ultra.
I like the Flex because I like it on the.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So the thing I'm really curious to see is if Samsung and if Apple, for example, come out with some kind of wearable tech like that. Is it going to be the kind of thing that is widely adopted by men and women both?
Right.
Because the problem I had with the Nike Fuel Band and some of the other band type devices, and I know this is not true of every woman, but for me, it just didn't really go with my look. You know,
it's ugly. It
And
is
so-
ugly,
and
especially the Fuel Band. That is
something I think
like
about.
wearing a Michelin tire on your wrist.
Yeah,
It's
but
ugly.
then there was an article actually in this month's Vogue as well, the September issue, that talks about how a lot of fashionistas are Whoa, Leo, chill out with the glasses.
I'm never drinking wine again.
Stay away from my
till
laptop.
tomorrow.
They're saying that a lot of fashionista types are picking up the Fuel Band because they like tracking how much they're walking, and then they also had a full spread with all Google Glass in the entire issue.
You kidding?
Yeah, there's a 4-page spread.
It could
with Google
become.
Glass
It could
in it.
become. Is that yours or mine?
This is mine, the
Okay.
cup.
It could. You were smart. You had yours with a wide,
Yeah.
big bottom.
Mhm.
I think this
That's
is
how I
too.
roll.
The bottom's too narrow on that. That's
Maybe there's an opportunity as everyone thinks that like not necessarily wearable tech, but there's going to be more watches. Samsung's got one. They're coming out with another one that
Different looks, you
Sony's
mean?
made one. But there's going to be more watches that
The
are
Samsung
synced
looks
to your phone.
butt
But I
ugly.
bet you more of them down the road are also going to have capabilities that might rival the likes of what the Fuel Band does and the likes of what the Fitbit does.
Well, that's why I'm hoping that if Samsung and Apple, in my mind, usually do some of the best designed products out there in the
Right.
space, in the consumer space. So I'm hoping that they either have a variety of different style options available, or if somehow they can get that magical single device that looks good on everyone.
like this.
I mean, the iPod did it. I mean, it's a different kind of thing, but they. Previous MP3 players and media devices. What am I looking at right now? I don't think you're.
You got to
might-
get that up on screen.
Yeah, I think
Are
you're.
you exercising?
Unplug and plug that back in again. You're having some trouble with your output.
Thank you.
I read from chat.
Rewind. There we go.
Is that better?
You getting it now?
Yeah. So this is. I have.
Nope.
No. Why not? I was just gonna. Maybe I did break the computer.
No, it was not working before the cup happened.
Oh. Okay.
What are you doing this video for?
Well, it's I was just showing the parachute video. You could probably pull that up, Chad. Oh yeah, just do that. Look at that. We have cameras. So this is one of my latest accessories. The idea here is you attach a parachute to your butt, and then you run as fast as you can. Oh, it's frozen now. I may have actually.
Oh, is the computer dead now?
Yeah, the computer actually died when I was showing that video. So that's going to be on the screen forever. Let's let it air out some more. It's good. It's dripping.
Is there a way that I can pull it up on my machine?
No, it's not worth it.
Doesn't really matter.
The gear looks really terrible, the Samsung gear.
Okay.
But we'll find out. September 4th, they're going to announce that when they announce the Note 3. We think. That's the rumor. I'm waiting for Apple. I think Apple, if anybody's going to get it right, they hired Jay Blahnik, who is, the guy who did the Nike Fuel Band, who's a really top fitness consultant.
Yeah, although if that is the case, either they're going to announce it before he's had the ability to have an impact on that product, or
No,
it's going to be a while.
It's middle of
Is
next
that what it's supposed to look like?
We don't know. Nobody's seen it.
Yes.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Okay, now you'll agree with me as an athlete, Veronica. Warming up is so important.
It is.
You got to get those muscles loose. You gotta.
I don't stretch before I work out, and I very badly hurt myself. So,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Stretching
Warm
is
up.
important.
You don't have to show the whole thing. It's all right. Jay,
I know you work out because I see you check in on Path.
I work out a lot.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know it, but I do. What else is in the rundown? Anything else?
Oh, right. I'm in charge of the
You
rundown
have
now.
Facebook is trying to always deny that Facebook makes people depressed. They say the
does make
internet
people-
makes people
no.
depressed.
I
Total
get
FOMO.
depressed.
Totally
it's
depressing.
Facebook that's depressing.
Totally
It's
depressing.
depressing.
This is the best thing. Apparently, if you take a lot of selfies of yourself and post them on Facebook, it
depressed?
makes people hate you.
Oh, well,
It makes people like you less.
Surprise!
Yeah. So if you think you're being cute by posting a lot of selfies,
no more
you're actually
selfies.
causing making people
unless you're
angry at
iJustine.
you.
If you're iJustine, post as many
love
selfies
that.
as you want.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
don't
but
know
there's
why.
some people that do this and have been told this, like, okay, maybe I won't do that, and then like it's grained into them or something, and like within a week they're doing it again.
Yeah. I interrupted you.
Selfies are addictive.
But I think this whole study on like the internet makes people depressed or Facebook, I think it just harkens down to the fact that human beings are social creatures and you need to have something of substance. So if you're going to be doing stuff online, you have to be doing that with real people that you give a S about. And if there are people that you just have these basic like coincidences with, I mean like they're your acquaintances
You
with
happen
them,
to go to
then
the same
makes
high school, for
It makes
example?
you depressed because you're not getting what a human being needs, which is like real contact with people. It can be virtual contact, but it has to be someone that you legitimately have a real relationship with.
It's
Otherwise,
like,
you're going to be
you know what?
lonely.
It's like living on Rabbit. You're eating all the time, but Rabbit is so lean you actually will die because there's not enough fat in a rabbit. This is what I've been told.
Really?
If you attempt to live on Rabbit, you'll die. You think you're being nurtured, you're being sustained, you're eating delicious roasted
How many people have tested this?
rabbit meat, but it will kill you because it's so lean. And Facebook is like that. It's the appearance of connection without, I think you're exactly right, without actual connection.
I don't know if that's, I think that's more just the way you interact online. It's not Facebook's fault. It's the user's fault to some extent, I guess, because they think that they're getting it from it and they're not. But then it's just also the ways that you are interacting.
I saw it on Mythbusters, God damn it. I know it's true. All right. We're going to stop. We're going to be stopped right now because my laptop's dead and it's after 5 o'clock and the 49ers are playing. So thank you very much, Veronica Belmont. You're a wonderful, wonderful human being.
Oh, thank you.
And get yourself the Louboutin. You should just buy those. You deserve them.
I can't do 4.5-inch heels. That's too much
come
for me.
on.
No, for my little wobbly flat feet.
I don't
no
know
good.
how women do that.
I don't
to
either.
be honest with you. I don't know how they do it. She is at Techzilla.com, Tekzilla.com. We adore her. Anything else you want to plug? Sword and Laser?
Yeah, we're still doing Sword and Laser podcast. We're actually coming out with a book anthology this year, which we're really excited about. Short stories from our audience. So that should be really fun. Doing Fact or Fictional over on youtube.com/techfeed every Friday. And then also...
What's that about, Fact or Fictional?
It's a look at the technology and science behind TV shows, movies, video
I love
games,
that.
comic books.
Is that the one you did the contact explosive on?
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
had
cool.
we
That's
had a woman who's a PhD in chemistry and also writes about science and TV shows.
And she said
came
what?
on. I actually can't remember exactly what she said right now. So you'll have to watch to find out.
That's Fact or Fictional.
Thank you, Chad.
Yes.
So it was a great episode, but we do a lot of that
fun.
kind of stuff.
I love that idea.
Yeah. I also do a show on Pop Sugar called The Sync Up.
And what's that about?
It's kind of like a Dear Abby show for tech help and
How do you
how-tos.
find time?
I don't know.
I want to do, and nobody will let me do this. Everybody says, no, you can't do this. A show for guys on this network where women explain why guys are just really schmucks. like a dating show. Like a guy calls up and said, so I gave my girlfriend tires and I don't understand why she's not happy.
Well,
That kind of
I
thing.
can't help you with that because I have the perfect man.
Does he give you tires?
He does.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is the best
including
gift?
I also got one spare tire for myself, and she also tolerated that. So,
What is the best gift he ever gave you?
The best gift? Oh, that's a really hard question. I don't know.
What a gift of his love.
Do you seem to have an
No,
idea
I
about what it
actually
is?
don't
No.
know.
Okay.
Really,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Trying
thought
to
they'd
get
be
some
like my
inspiration.
wedding ring. Oh.
You
Yeah.
should have said that, but that's okay. We gave you a chance.
No, he's given me lots of great gifts
Yeah,
over the
of course
years.
He is Ryan Block.
Hello.
VP product at AOL, and where he's working now on some great stuff, I'm sure.
Yes.
And a senior or editor emeritus at Engadget. You will be blogging from the Apple event.
Maybe. We'll see.
If all
I
goes
hope so.
well, September 10th.
I'm looking forward to it.
If
confirm or
not, come up
deny.
here. Can't confirm or deny.
Cannot confirm or
David
deny.
Prager is in super slow-mo.
Yep. I've also got,
Distort.
since we're in plugging away,
Yeah.
I started another company. It's called Pitch Starter.
Tell me about this.
We produce about videos for early stage startups. So kind of promotional marketing videos.
Because
There's all
like
these-
Kickstarter, for instance, it's all about the video. If you got a good video,
Yeah.
you're going to make money on Kickstarter.
So that was the original idea. Is like let's help people make videos for their Kickstarter campaigns. And then it turned into having done everything with the revision 3, and then been into tech, and then been into entrepreneurship and startups, and having a passion for that stuff. It was kind of like I want to use my television background and help people tell the stories of their company so they can reach their potential users and consumers and customers and clients and all that.
Pitch Starter?
Yeah.
What's the domain?
Pitchstarter.com, and there is no website up yet, but it'll be up by.
So go there.
But I still wanted to mention it because we were going.
It'll be there. This show, people will hear it later.
It'll be up. We'll have something as a placeholder in.
My favorite.
As a placeholder in the late September, and then I'll have the full website up in October.
My favorite video is the Dollar Shave Club video. Have you seen that?
It's really good.
That is
so good.
And they're not an advertiser or anything.
So funny.
I watched that over and over again. It's like OK Go or something like that. It's just very clever.
They have a new video out too.
Do they?
With a new product, which I tried to get, and they wouldn't give it to me.
The bum wipes?
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? That sounds weird. I'm just going to buy one. And they said, you can't. You have to be a subscribing member. And I said, well, I can't subscribe because I don't shave, really. And so they said, well, sorry, we can't sell your product.
Subscribe to bum wipes?
Oh.
No, you can't. You have to be.
You have to get razor blades and bum wipes?
Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great.
But what's funny is it gets more and more over the top.
Yeah.
And then you realize it's a real product because you think it's not almost because the first time you see it.
You know what? They're not an advertiser. We talked to them and they don't have enough money to advertise. But I actually get the blades and everything, and the butt wipes are fabulous. I don't think this could get any worse.
Please make that the show title. Please make that.
Thank you very much for joining us. I'm sorry. I just apologize. Thank you all for being here. I hope you come back on a better day. Thank you all, our live studio audience. People from all over the world came here for this. I'm sorry. Brazil, from Poland, from Trinidad and Tobago, and from all over the United States. So nice to have you. It's really great. You can email us and be in the live studio audience for any of our shows. We've got room almost always. Tickets at twit.tv, or just show up if you're in the Northern California area. We're about an hour north of San Francisco in Petaluma, California. But it's nice if you email because we can have a chair for you. Tickets at twit.tv. You can also watch this show live. We do it at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 2200 UTC on Sunday afternoons. Please, or evening if you're in another time zone, please come by and watch live. We, as you can see, pay attention to the chat room. If you're going to twit, don't be a bitch. And they are. And if you can't watch live, you can get on-demand versions, audio and video available after the fact at twit.tv. That could be my slogan. /nothing, because this is the big show. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week. Another twit is in the can.
Best show I've ever done.
Oh, I hope your laptop is okay.
Oh, it's fine. Doing the twit.
So Patrick Norton said that Ryan and I can't sit next to each other on Twitter anymore because we have better discussions if we're facing each other and not side by side. Because he took some kind of like audience or like group dynamic course in college.
Some big producer type thing.
Yeah. He's like, you shouldn't sit next to each other. Sit across from each other.
I don't really care, but I figured you would.
Well, I thank you. I saw that it was set up for me when I came back.
Yeah, he said it. He said, I don't want to sit next to her.
Said I wanted to get to know my good friend David a little bit.
Ryan's now my source of all things.
You know, it's going to start all sorts of Twitter rumors.
About what?
That you're not sitting next to your husband. You know how Twitter is.
Take this off.
Twitter is full of Twitter is full of a bunch of bitches.
Oh my God.
It is though.
Do you want some wine?
Haven't you noticed that?
The show hasn't even begun, and I think we've already got the title.
Haven't you noticed that, though? I mean, like, you say one thing, and they go...
Episode 420, Twitter's full of a lot of bitches.
Episode 420.
Twitter, it's the bitches all the way down.